Legendary discounts made Johnson City Toyota #1, and this month our discounts are huge with savings up to $5,600 on new Toyotas. Camrys are discounted up to $3,800, so ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota and get your savings today.
Very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pioneer Park on the campus of Tusculum University for South Atlantic Conference baseball action today, featuring the Lenior-Rhyne University Bears and the Tusculum University Pioneers. I'm Jim Miller on the call of today's games, and joining me in the booth for an appearance, sitting in do some color commentary, is former Tusculum baseball coach and current director of athletics, Doug Jones. Doug, welcome to the press box for today's games.
Thanks, Jim. Looking forward to it.
It's a game that means, for the standings, has no meaning for Tusculum. They already know that they're going to be the number 4 seed in the field. But today's games have a tremendous amount of meaning for Lenior-Rhyne as they come into play today with a 7-15 conference record, which has them tied for 7th place with Coker and Anderson. Now, if these teams do finish in a 3-way tie in the standings, Lenior-Rhyne would be the odd team out. So they're going to need to finish a game clear of either Coker or Anderson in order to lock up a spot in the South Atlantic Conference tournament. Coker did get us some good news earlier today as Lenior-Rhyne gets good news as Coker loses to Carson Newman 13-3 in game 1 of their doubleheaders. So Lenior-Rhyne actually does control their own destiny. If they sweep this doubleheader, they will be in the tournament. The other game in action today, Anderson is trailing Mars Hill 2-1 in the 3rd inning there as they are playing a doubleheader at Anderson this afternoon. For the Pioneers, they come in with a 15-7 conference record. Again, they are locked into the number 4 seed. They'll know they'll play Catawba in the first game in the South Atlantic Conference tournament, which will be coming up on Thursday at Smoky Stadium in Kodak. And from there, it'll be the rest of the double elimination tournament. Tusculum already in that double elimination field. If Lenior-Rhyne gets in, they'll have to play the always one-and-done game, which would be the 5 through 8 teams playing each other in a single elimination format to try and get into that top 6. But Tusculum will play on Friday the 26th, and that'll be a 7:30 start against Catawba coming up on Friday. But as for today's games, a good pitching matchup here. Zach Sanders gets the ball for the Pioneers, and Alex Shirazi getting the start for Lenior-Rhyne. And Coach, what can you tell us a little bit about Zach Sanders, the Tusculum starter today?
Well, Zach's done a really nice job, especially this season. Zach's a 3-pitch guy, fastball, breaking ball, and change, and can throw the cutter as well. But over the last couple of years, the key for Zach is does he have command of the changeup, and can he locate that changeup down in the zone? If he can, he'll get a lot of swing and misses with that pitch. And pitching ahead in the count obviously is going to be critical for Zach, who's struggled with a little bit of a blister issue throughout the year and a fingernail issue. I was talking with him yesterday afternoon. He feels pretty good about the way his hand has recovered, but that will be the key, is can he keep the Lenior-Rhyne Bears off balance today.
And that lineup that he'll be facing for Lenior-Rhyne this afternoon, we'll run it down here. Leading off will be the right fielder, E.J. Rennell. Grant Fuller, the center fielder, will bat second. Clayton Jeffries, the left fielder, hits third. Matthew Freeman, the designated hitter, will bat fourth. Will Jones, the shortstop, hits fifth. Alex Reynolds, the first base, hits sixth. Zach Shoemaker, the catcher, hits seventh. Hunter Jackson, the third baseman, batting eighth. And batting ninth at second base will be Brock Johnson for the Bears. Alex Shirazi will get the start, 2-5 with a 4.48 earned run average. The Pioneers starting lineup today, at third base, will be leading off Jaden Stiegel. Dalton Martin, the second baseman, will bat second. Bryson Ford, the shortstop, hits third. Nate Montgomery at first base, batting fourth. Jarrell McDade in left field bats fifth. Bradley Evans, a designated hitter, hitting sixth. Chase Woolenweber, the catcher, bats seventh. Zach Fincham, the right fielder, hits eighth. And batting ninth in center field will be Sam Urban, behind Zach Sanders with a 4-2 record. We'll pause at this time for our national anthem. Our national anthem prior to the start of college baseball action this afternoon here at Pioneer Park as Tusculum taking on Lenior-Rhyne. Jim Miller with you this afternoon, joined in the booth by Doug Jones. Our producer this afternoon is Nick Forsberg. Glad you could join us here on the Pioneer Sports Network through our YouTube page. We'll be here for both games of this doubleheader. Will be a 9-inning game to start, and then a 7-inning game will follow, which will be the final game of the regular season for the Pioneers, who are 28-19 overall, 15-7 in the South Atlantic Conference under first-year head coach Brandon Steele. Lenior-Rhyne 22-25 overall, 7-15 in the conference under the direction of head coach Tom Fleener. And Zach Sanders getting the start for the Pioneers, 4-2 record on the season, a 4.99 earned run average, 12th start of the season. He's pitched 52 in the third innings, allowed 54 hits, 33 runs, 29 of them earned. He's walked 19, struck out 50, and opponents hitting .265 against Zach Sanders, the 6'4", 210-pound sophomore out of Peachtree City, Georgia. So Lenior-Rhyne will go to work here with E.J. Rennell leading off. He's their leading home run hitter on the season. 296 average, a good batter at the top of the lineup, a guy you've certainly seen a number of times. What can you look at, or what do you see coming down through this lineup here for Lenior-Rhyne?
Yeah, usually, LR has several guys throughout that lineup that can hurt you a little bit, and obviously Rennell with 7 home runs, 30 RBIs, slugging .507. The thing I look at is he's walked 19 times, he's been hit 6 times, so really the table setter for Lenior-Rhyne, which in all reality, the conference tournament for them begins today. And so it'll be an interesting matchup today. You got one club in Tusculum who obviously has secured their spot, know when they're playing, who they're playing. And then you have LR who is just really battling to get an opportunity to get into the dance. And
we'll be monitoring those other games for you here throughout the afternoon. Again, Coker lost game 1 of their doubleheader to Carson Newman 13-3, and Mars Hill's leading Anderson 2-1 in the third inning of that game this afternoon. Rennell steps in. E.J. Rennell, the right fielder, hitting .296, 7 home runs, 30 runs batted in for the 5'11", 175-pound junior. And he lines the first pitch. Foul, 1 strike. Our first pitch this afternoon coming in at 3 o'clock on the dot. Beautiful day here at Pioneer Park. We can't complain one single bit, especially after the weather we had the last couple of days, Friday and Saturday. 72 degrees and sunny at first pitch. The 1 strike the count to E.J. Rennell, who'll be followed by Grant Fuller and Clayton Jeffries here in the top half of the first inning. Sanders' next pitch is high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
East Tennessee weather at its best. Told a group of parents yesterday, if you don't like it, stick around a few minutes. Likely to change.
It's definitely made a change for the better here today. Sanders rocks in the 1-1 pitch. Is chopped foul towards the LR dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
There was the changeup from Zach right there, and that's something he's going to have to work on. He left that pitch middle of the plate. If he can locate that pitch down, I think he can have success today.
Sanders' last start came against LMU a week ago Saturday. He took the loss 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits and 5 runs in that 8-5 loss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. The pitch is popped foul over the Tusculum dugout. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good location there. Came fastball in on him, probably sitting off speed there. So great location there by Zach.
Sanders with 19 walks and 52 in the third innings this season, which is about where you want to be as far as control goes. That's about 2 walks to start. The 1-2 pitch is called third strike, and Rennell goes down looking.
Good little breaking ball right there from Zach on the outer half.
And it was, and it's called strike 3 by home plate umpire Bill Williams. Dave Mabe working first base, and John White over at third base for game 1 of this doubleheader. Grant Fuller, the center fielder, steps in. Fuller hitting .282 on the season. He has a home run and 24 runs batted in. And here's another guy who gets on base as well. You look beyond that walk total, and you see that big double figure there in that hit-by-pitch department. 14 times this season. First pitch to him is popped foul off the left side, 1 strike.
Yeah, also 10 of 13 on the bag, so definitely a guy for the Pioneers that we want to try to keep off base if we possibly can.
Fuller is senior, 5'9", 150 pounds, out of Five Forks, South Carolina. Left-handed batter, left-handed all the way. Just 2 lefties in lineup for LR, and we'll see them back-to-back as Jeffries, the left fielder, waits on deck. 1 strike the count here to Grant Fuller. Sanders' next pitch is low and in for a ball. Or it's going to be a called strike. Called that one a little early.
Yeah, little delay response there by our home plate umpire.
The ball's in 2 strikes to count to Fuller. Sanders with the set and the 0-2 pitch. Popped up foul. Now he is working from the stretch at all times. Is this something that's a personal preference thing? Is it something that's instructed? Is it something that kind of evolves over time? How does that kind of come about?
Yeah, I really give Coach Ireland credit for that. Started that about 6 or 7 years ago in the fall of requiring all the pitchers to pitch out of the stretch to get them comfortable in that position, and some of the guys just stay with it during the regular season.
The 0-2 pitch is popped up. This one might be playable. Woolenweber giving chase, and he looks up, and it's going to be on the netting. So still no balls and 2 strikes to count to Fuller here in the first inning.
You know, I think one key for pitchers at all levels is getting comfortable pitching out of the most uncomfortable situations you're going to be in, and that's with runners on base and pitching out of the stretch, and that's something that Coach Ireland has required the pitchers to do, and it's paid great dividends for our staff.
Now, if you look at Sanders' numbers, his batting average against with runners on and with runners not on base is almost identical, as this one's grounded to second, and Martin flips over to first in time, and 2 up and 2 down here in the first. So bring up the left fielder, Clayton Jeffries, and Jeffries with 48 runs batted in this season. That puts him among the conference leaders. As with just 1 home run. He's got 14 doubles and the 1 home run. He's hitting .385 on the year, and also a very good contact hitter. Just 12 strikeouts and 174 at-bats for Clayton Jeffries.
Very impressive. If you look at that, it's 31 if you count the hit by pitches to his strikeout total of 12. So as a coach, if you're going to preach discipline and the importance of on-base percentage, this is a guy you definitely would like to have in your lineup.
And he's batting right in the heart of that lineup, the number 3 spot. He's had 1 ball and no strikes. This one he rolls over to second base, and it's going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Zach Sanders as Martin makes the play. 3 up and 3 down in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It's Lenior-Rhyne nothing. Tusculum coming to bat on the Pioneer Sports Network. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Lenior-Rhyne nothing doing in the top half of the first. And we'll send out right-hander Alex Shirazi to face this Tusculum lineup. Shirazi, a junior, 6'2", 210 pounds out of Charlotte. He went to Myers Park High School. For the season, he's making his 12th start, 2 wins, 5 losses, a 4.48 earned run average, 66 1/3 innings. Shirazi has given up 72 hits, 33 earned runs. He has struck out 60 and walked 18 batters on the season, has Shirazi. And the first batter that he will face in the Tusculum lineup, it will be the third baseman, Jaden Stiegel. Stiegel hitting .289, a home run, and 15 runs batted in. Stiegel, whose freshman season is at times he was out of the lineup for a little bit, but is going to be counted on here as we get into the postseason. Pitch is popped up foul, and it's going to be out of play as the first baseman Reynolds gives pursuit, but it's 1 strike.
Good to have Stiegel back in the lineup. He dealt with some injuries and kind of forced Coach Steele to make some adjustments, both offensively and defensively. So good to have him back in as tournament time rolls around.
Stiegel's also been hit 13 times this season. He's stolen 6 bases, but he's down in the count here, no balls and 2 strikes. leading off the bottom of the first inning. Stieg will be followed by Martin and Ford for the Pioneers. Shirazi winds in the pitch. Fastball got in on him a little bit and pops it up foul behind the plate. Shoemaker, the catcher, can't make the play. And it's going to be a no play there. Probably a ball that first baseman Reynolds comes in a little more aggressively. He might have a chance to make the play. As we look at the replay over here, Shoemaker does go, he tosses the mask well, but he looked like he had it all the way. And then it's tough behind this backstop in particular because of the sun, and then you got the wind sometimes as well. This one's lofted down the left field line, but it's going to be tracked down by the left fielder, Jeffries, for the first out.
Yeah, the canopy can fool you here at Pioneer Park. The wind, the sun, the shadows that you deal with certain times of the day, and I think the catcher struggled there just a little bit as Shoemaker went back on that ball. But fortunately for them, they get the lazy fly out to left.
And that'll bring up Dalton Martin to the plate. Martin, the all-everything second baseman for the Pioneers, hitting .385, 8 home runs, 46 runs batted in this season for the junior. And he takes that pitch low for a ball. You talk about a guy who's just indispensable to a lineup. It's a guy who, like Dalton Martin, who just means everything to the offense, and just as he goes, so goes the team.
Yeah, and understanding his role, he's done a really nice job this year, not trying to do too much for most of the season, and realizing that he's just one piece of this puzzle. As he lines one there right at the first baseman.
Hit that one on the nose, but it's a line out to the first baseman, Reynolds, for the second out. We'll talk more about Dalton as we continue along here in today's game. But next up for the Pioneers is the shortstop, Bryson Ford. Ford hitting .337 on the year, 3 home runs, 44 runs batted in, and probably most impressively of all, 25 stolen bases at 27 attempts.
Ford is one of the guys that you just classify as a baseball player. If you go watch him practice every day, not going to wow you, but you have to watch him throughout the course of a season, and he just does all the little things right for you that makes your baseball team better.
He's been versatile, too. He played a lot of second base last year, and then the third base this year, and now it's shortstop, so he kind of is a guy who can move all over the diamond.
Yeah, he's very versatile, good athlete, can do a lot of things, and moved him to the shortstop position actually going into last year's conference tournament. And probably the biggest mistake last year's coach made was not moving him sooner than we did. So just an all-around solid baseball player.
Already with 91 career hits here in his second season with the Pioneers. He's in the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Fouls that one away. It's a full count. So both pitchers, for the most part, have come out here in the early going and just kind of come right at the batters. There's been no mystery here. They've been, especially Shirazi's, just been pounding the zone with fastballs.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs hit. Looks like he's got a little arm side run to it and a little sink to that fastball. So you can see how he could have success.
And he chops this one to second as Ford. It's collected by the second baseman Johnson on to first. And both pitchers with a 1-2-3 first inning. 1 inning in the books. It's Lenior-Rhyne and Tusculum scoreless on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Legendary discounts made Johnson City Toyota #1, and this month our discounts are huge with savings up to $5,600 on new Toyotas. Camrys are discounted up to $3,800, so ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota and get your savings today.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingles has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
We head to the top of the second inning. No score here at Pioneer Park. Both pitchers with a 1-2-3 first inning. And Lenior-Rhyne will be in the middle of the lineup. Freeman, Jones, and Reynolds due up here in the second inning against Zach Sanders. One more game after this. It'll be a 7-inning game, and then that'll be the end of the regular season, and it'll be off to the South Atlantic Conference Tournament. Tusculum knows they'll be there. Lenior-Rhyne trying to get their way in there, and they continue to get some good news elsewhere as Mars Hill now leads Anderson 3-1 as they play in the top of the 4th inning. Leading off is the designated hitter Matthew Freeman, hitting .355, 5 home runs, 31 runs batted in. First pitch from Sanders is low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Wind up or stretch by Sanders, and the 1-0 pitch is there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Matthew Freeman. He's a senior, 5'10", 200 pounds, out of Belews Creek, North Carolina.
He's had a solid year. The extra base hits totals there, 18 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 home runs.
Chops that one up the middle. Ford goes to his left. His throw across is in time for the out. So 3 straight ground ball outs recorded by Zach Sanders, as this one here chopped up the middle and Ford a couple steps to his left, and he had plenty of time to make the throw across and retire Freeman for the out. So now the batter will be his shortstop, Will Jones. Jones hitting .304, 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in for Will Jones, a 6'2", 175-pound sophomore out of Clayton, North Carolina. The first pitch to him is way outside for a ball, 1-0.
Choked a change up there, trying to get ahead off speed there, and just held on to it a little long and threw across his body on that one.
He's down 1 ball and no strikes to Jones. Shows bunt, takes a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. His teams played 12 innings on Saturday, with Tusculum eventually pulling out the victory by a score of 4-3. In a game where both teams scored 2 runs in the 4th and 1 run in the 11th, and then the Pioneers scored the winning run on an error in the 12th. The 1-1 pitch is a little bit off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Jones was 3 for 5 in that game. He scored 2 of the 3 LR runs, also had an RBI. He's actually a home run short of the cycle. He singled, doubled, and tripled in that ball game. So in the count here, 2 balls and a strike. Sanders' pitch bounces up there, 3 balls and a strike. So 3-1 the count to Will Jones, batting with 1 out and nobody on here in the 2nd.
This is a position that Zach does not want to find himself pitching behind in the count here, especially with a guy like Jones at the plate, who's a really good fastball hitter.
Let's see what they do with him here. 3-1. Gets the fastball. It's right there for a strike. 3-2.
Surprise there. I guess maybe Jones thought that pitch was up a little bit. Surprised he's not more aggressive in that situation.
So now 3-2 the count. 1 out here in the 2nd. And Sanders delivers. That one's lined to right center field. Fincham's going back, but he has a play on it. He makes the catch for the 2nd out. Probably without a doubt the hardest hit ball that LR's had so far in this game.
Yeah, put a good swing on that pitch, but pretty good location by Zach. Got him through a fastball, but threw it on the outer half of the plate. So pretty good location there by Zach.
And that'll bring up the first baseman, Alex Reynolds. Reynolds hitting .229, a home run, 15 runs batted in for the first baseman, who is a senior, 6'1", 210 pounds, out of Kings Mountain, North Carolina. First pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. Reynolds came in as a defensive substitution, but did not bat in Saturday's game. Stretch by Sanders, and the 1-0 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike.
Good location there. Fastball on the outer half of the plate. To Reynolds, who's had a down year for him. I know in the past in his career there, he's put up some pretty good numbers.
Just with the 1 home run so far this season, a .229 average. That checks his swing. Appeal is no swing, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
That's a little bit of the cutter there that I was talking about earlier, Jim. If Zach can establish that pitch, he's just a completely different guy, becomes a 4-pitch guy.
2-1 pitch. It's low and away. It's 3-1. Same situation we had just the last batter, Jones.
Yeah, that was good location. Not too sure where that missed unless it's down. But really good spot there by Zach, just didn't get the call.
Stretch And the 3-1 pitch, up and in, ball 4. They're going to appeal. They do. They say he swung, and it's a full count. See here on the replay, this pitch was up and in, nowhere close to the zone. And, ooh.
Yeah, not sure about that.
I think Sanders might have gotten one there. As the pitch came in, and Reynolds held up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, caught a break there. We'll see if Zach can take advantage of that.
So 3-2 the count. Sanders, full count pitch. Line, ooh, into the Tusculum dugout.
Lucky there. Looks like everybody's okay, but that's a dangerous spot.
Right towards Coach Steele. Looks like Garrett Goldberg down there as well was in the vicinity. But everybody's all right. 3-2 the count holds to Reynolds. The stretch. And the full count pitch. Popped up, playable in the infield. Montgomery gives way to Martin, who puts it away. So 6 up and 6 down for Zach Sanders here in the early going. Nothing doing for LR in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the second. It's the Lenior-Rhyne and Tusculum scoreless on the Pioneers Sports Network.
It's fine. It'll be okay, okay? Nobody cares about the flowers. Who needs flowers at a wedding?
At Ingalls, we know that the best of plans don't always go according to plan.
My best friend's getting married today and the florist never showed.
That's why we're always there when you need us.
What are their colors?
Purple and cream.
With smiling faces and helping hands.
No one cares. No one cares. You will look great. Flowers are not important. And where is Holly? Have you anyone seen Holly?
And although life will be predictably unpredictable,
Let's get you to that wedding.
a curveball is that much more satisfying
I got the flowers!
when you knock it out of the park.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
So when the plan goes out the window and improvisation becomes the order of the day, just remember, that's where the best of memories are made.
All right, they're ready for us.
True story. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Bottom of the second inning here at Pioneer Park. No score between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne. And coming to the plate for the Pioneers is Nate Montgomery. Montgomery getting the start at first base today, hitting .343 on the season, 3 home runs, 37 runs batted in. And Nate Montgomery, a community college kid who's come in and has really solidified the catcher position over the last 2 years.
Yeah, a position that, we definitely needed stability, and Nate's come in and done a great job. Just an all-around good player, but more importantly, just a great team guy, understands the concept around here.
And he's quickly in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Montgomery went 2 for 6 with 2 doubles in the game on Saturday. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6. He had a 4-hit game against Lee last Tuesday, and he's going down on strikes here as Shirazi gets his first strikeout of the game on 3 pitches. Now Jarrell McDade will come to the plate. McDade hitting at .284 on the season, 4 home runs, and 47 runs batted in. McDade among the conference leaders in RBIs with those 47. In fact, that ties him for 3rd in the conference with those 47 runs batted in. The first pitch taken inside for a ball, 1-0.
Jarrell did a really nice job. If you looked at his numbers early in the year, the first third part of the year, really struggled in every category except RBIs. So he still found a way to be productive when struggling a little bit at the plate.
The 1-0 pitch is taken for a strike. He's had some big RBI games in conference play. He had 5 RBIs against Wingate, 6 against Mars Hill, 5 against Carson Newman. He had a 3 RBI game against Coker. So he's stepped up to the plate in the conference play and has been delivering. He's down the count now, a ball and 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball there by Shirazi.
In fact, in conference play, McDade has 28 RBIs in 22 games. Go along with a .333 average. This one's lined to left. The left fielder Jeffrey's going to have to play it on a hop, and we have our first base runner of the game. It's a one out single here in the second by Jarrell McDade. So up to the plate now for the Pioneers will step the designated hitter Bradley Evans. Evans, just his 10th start of the season. He's hitting .250 with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Missed a lot of time with what was a hamate injury that kept him out of play for quite a while.
Yeah, it sure did, and very disappointing for Bradley. I know he was looking forward to his senior year here, but really just got off to a rough start, bad break, not being able to play the first several weeks of the year, and then kind of re-injured a little bit. So just now back in the lineup.
He's had just 2 at-bats this month. He batted and got a single in Saturday's game, and that was just his second at-bat since March 30th. In fact, other than these 2 at-bats, he had one against King back on April the 9th. All of his at-bats this season were between March 15th and the 30th. As stealing second base is Jarrell McDade, his 18th stolen base in 21 attempts, and he's in scoring position with 1 out as he beats the throw easily on the headfirst dive.
Yeah, big change. Kind of glad to see that part of the offense back in play, and Coach Todd Miller, who's kind of really brought that approach back to the program, really worked hard in the running game, and you can see how many dividends that's paying.
And now this is going to be a line drive double play as McDade was trying to steal third. Evans hit it on the nose right to the second baseman, Johnson, who flips over to Jones for the inning-ending double play. As you see it here on the replay, McDade takes off for third, and Evans just hits a missile right to the second baseman, who just has to just hold out his glove to the left a little bit, and then it's an easy flip for the double play to end the inning.
Tough break right there for Bradley, but hit the ball on the nose, and you just try to build off that for your next at-bats in the rest of the game today.
So the Pioneers get a base runner on a hit, but leave none, and we are through 2 innings here at Pioneer Park. No score between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota, where new Tacomas start at $309 a month with 0 down. Drive the all-new RAV4 for $209 a month or save over $4,000 on Highlander. See more great deals at johnsoncitytoyota.com.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you? To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus? What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
We're off to the top of the 3rd inning here at Pioneer Park. No score between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne. Just 1 hit in the game. That was a single by Jarrell McDade in the bottom of the 2nd inning. He was eventually doubled off on that line drive by Bradley Evans. As Zach Sanders has retired all 6 batters he's faced. He'll face the bottom 3rd of the LR order here, starting with the catcher Zach Shoemaker. Shoemaker hitting .248, no home runs, 12 runs batted in for Shoemaker, who's making his 33rd start of the season. Shoemaker, a 6 foot, 185-pound senior out of Colfax, North Carolina. LR has a lot of seniors in their lineup.
Yeah, heavy group of seniors for them, and a lot of guys that have had a lot of success during their careers there.
He takes the first pitch for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Shoemaker, Jackson, Johnson due up here in the top of the 3rd inning. 1-0 pitch, chopped to short. Ford goes to his right. He's got time. He throws across. It's offline, but Montgomery comes off the bag well and applies the tag for the out. The catcher running, you figure you've got maybe an extra step or 2 here, and Ford went to his right well. His throw across was a little bit off target, but Montgomery had more than enough time to apply the tag for the out.
Yeah, good job by Ford just getting rid of it. It was offline, but it did give Montgomery plenty of time to make an adjustment, come off the bag, and still make a play.
And obviously Montgomery is the regular catcher, but he's used to dealing with throws and of that sort. It's not as tough a transition for a catcher to go to first base, other than just footwork issues around the bag. But a play like that's something that he should be able to handle with no problem.
Yeah, no problem for him. Nate's really improved over there and had an opportunity to get a lot more work through the fall over there at first, and just gives Coach Steele a little bit of flexibility in what he can do with that lineup.
2 balls and no strikes to count to Hunter Jackson, who's hitting .308 with a home run, 14 runs batted in. Jackson a senior, 5'5", 150 pounds, out of Cherryville, North Carolina. As he pops that one foul, 2 balls and a strike.
Cherryville, North Carolina, known for its baseball, especially their Legion program that they have there, and Coach Bobby Reynolds, been there a long, long time. Good friend of mine, does a great job with that program, so has a lot of talent that comes out of that area.
Jackson's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Sanders delivers upstairs for a ball, 3-1. So yet another batter that Sanders has fallen behind as this pitch got away from him a little bit and went right over, not quite over the head of the batter, but it was close enough.
Yeah, really lost his mechanics there on the pitch. Really needs to get back over that front side and get some sink on that fastball.
3 balls and a strike, the count to Jackson. And this one's hit in the hole to the left side. It's a base hit, the first hit of the game for the Bears. And that comes off the bat of Hunter Jackson. So he is a 1-out base runner here in the third. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Brock Johnson. Johnson hitting .203, a home run, 14 runs batted in. For Johnson, 6 foot, 160 pound. Now he's only a sophomore. He's from Granite Falls, North Carolina, South Caldwell High School. As he is the starting second baseman here today, making his 24th start of the year.
Yeah, only 69 at bats on the year, so you can tell they've played several people over there at second base, and Brock getting the opportunity today.
He was 2 for 4 in Saturday's game. Sanders' pitch is popped up foul. It's going to drift out of play. 1 strike. Over at first base, Jackson is 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts this season. LR as a team with 38 stolen bases in 56 attempts. Contrast that with the Pioneers, who that stolen base by McDade back in the second, their 99th stolen base of the year in 48 games.
Yeah, different approaches there. LR does not seem to run a whole lot, but they will put pressure on you by a hit and run and putting pressure on you that way. Notice that in game 1 of the series where they put the hit and run on a couple of occasions in that first game.
Good block there by Woolen-Weber on that pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sanders will come set. And the 1-1 pitch is on the outside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes to count to Brock Johnson.
Another good pitch there by Zach. Good location on the outer third.
Jackson, the runner at first, not getting a huge lead. Sanders with stretch. And the 1-2 pitch. Low. It's blocked by Woolen-Weber, but the runner tries to advance anyway, and he will. And as the throw goes into center field, backed up by Urban. But that'll be, most likely, that'll be a wild pitch as the runner moves up on the pitch in the dirt. Tough break there as Woolen-Weber blocked the ball, but it just got away from him far enough that the runner was able to move up.
Yeah, wasn't able to get fully turned on the breaking ball. The breaking ball backed up on Wooly there and really did not get squared up and soft where that ball would just bounce right in front of him. So Coach Ireland, I'm sure, will talk with him about that.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count as Johnson asks for time. Mars Hill leading Anderson 3-2 at the end of 4, and Coker's up 3-2 on Carson Newman in the first inning, so already off to a wild start there. This ball is lined in the gap in left center field. It's going to be trouble. It's going to find the gap and one hopping off the fence. Around third comes Jackson. He scores. It's rolling into second base with an RBI double is Brock Johnson, his 15th RBI of the year, his 5th double. And Lenior-Rhyne takes a 1-0 lead here in the third. So we see the ball lined into that gap, and nothing you can do about that in that spot as the ball finds open spaces and one hop and right off the fence there, right by the tee in Tusculum.
Yeah, not good location there by Zach. He'd like to have that pitch back. It's fastball in the middle of the plate, and again behind in the count. He's got to find a way to get back ahead in the count here.
So after retiring the first 7 batters, he gives up a single and a double, and now trails 1-0 as it's back to the top of the lineup for Lenior-Rhyne and the right fielder E.J. Rennell, who struck out looking in the top of the first inning. The first pitch to him is taken for a strike.
Was able to locate the changeup there. I know Coach Ireland's going to keep trying to force Zach to find better command of the off speed.
Sanders, step off. Outfield playing generally straight away against Rennell. Stretch. And the 0-1 pitch. In the dirt, that was a good block by Wollenweber. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tried to throw the breaking ball there. Still has not really established command of all 3 pitches here.
Martin keeping the runner Johnson close at second. Cheat in behind him a little bit. Now with the lead that he's got versus how close Martin is to the bag, I know that in my younger days that would be an automatic pickoff play.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they run some type of timing play here shortly, because he is not respecting how close Martin is to the bag. So I would expect Dalton to probably put something on here shortly, some type of timing pick here.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Rennell down in the count, trying to avoid a second strikeout here. Try and protect with 2 strikes. Got that big hole on the right side. And now Sanders will step off and looking back to second.
Yeah, ran inside move there. I would prefer Dalton try to run some type of timing here as he extends that primary lead.
Now Martin backs off a step, now moves in again. The 1-2 pitch, lofted to center field. Urban will have it lined up. Tagging at second base is Johnson. The catch is made. The throw comes in from center field, but sliding in at third base is Johnson as he moves up on the flyout by Rennell, but there are now 2 outs in the inning.
Kind of lucky there for Zach. That was another changeup, let her high, and got away with that. I prefer to see Sam Urban work behind that ball just a little bit better than he did.
That was pitch was up in the zone, and Rennell kind of got, he just couldn't get on top of it, and just there was nothing else he could do but just kind of hit a fly ball.
Yeah.
So 2 outs now in the inning, but a runner at third base for Fuller, the center fielder, who grounded out his first time up. And he lost one in the air to left field. McDade has that lined up, fighting the sun a little bit, but he'll make the catch. And the inning is over. Lenior-Rhyne does get on the board here with a run on 2 hits, and they leave 1. 2.5 complete in game 1 of our doubleheader. It is Lenior-Rhyne 1, Tusculum nothing on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Hello, my name is Jacob Fate, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities for the 4th year in a row. We sell more because we discount every vehicle every day. We give you a lifetime warranty and complimentary service. So I invite you to come see why Johnson City Toyota is #1.
Tusculum University is Tennessee's first university, established in 1790.
Off to the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Pioneer Park with Lenior-Rhyne leading 1-0. Jim Miller with you this afternoon, joined by former head coach and current director of athletics Doug Jones, who's sitting in with us for our doubleheader today. Our producer is Nick Forsberg. Glad you could join us. We were watching at work. Glad you could be along with us here on the Pioneer Sports Network this afternoon. As it's 1-0 LR, and the Pioneers will have the bottom third of the lineup with Chase Wollenweber leading off, taking a strike. Wollenweber this season batting .283, no home runs, 14 RBIs as he's making his 21st start of the season.
Done a nice job, Chase has, settling in behind the plate and giving a little bit of production offensively this year, which is good to see.
Grounds out one to short, and Jones makes the throw across in time for the out. So 1 down, and it'll bring up the right fielder, Zach Fincham. Fincham is batting .258 on the year, no home runs, 24 RBIs, as he has pretty much settled into that number 8 spot in the lineup, and as he He gives you a to say a professional performance, but you know what I mean. He respects the game, and he's a guy who is going to give you an honest effort every time he's out there on the field.
Yeah, just understands the game. Fifth-year senior, been around it, been involved in a lot of big games in his career.
He lofts that one in the air to right field. Hardly having to move is Rennell, and he makes the catch. So very quickly, 2 up and 2 down here in the third.
Yeah, Fincham gets tied up there with the fastball in the inner half. He's really struggled this year with some consistency and with his timing and being on time. And I know he's been frustrated by that, but that's exactly what happened to him right there. Got fastball in the inner half, and just timing was off.
Now Sam Urban will step to the plate. Urban hitting 3 for 35 on the season. He's just with him. It's been just 35 at bats. It's tough to find a groove, and the at bats just aren't there.
Yeah, guy that really started the year in the starting lineup and coming off a pretty good fall for Sam, but then just really struggled, not putting the ball in play, a lot of swing and misses, and just kind of found himself out of the lineup and
turns on that one and drives it down the right field line, but it's going to hook foul as that one was drilled down the right field line, but now he's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Sam's a guy, just a really good athlete that can do a lot of things for you. Really good defender, and he's made some really good plays defensively, especially the one early in the year against Palm Beach Atlantic was a fabulous play, and a guy that's really good on the bases and a good defender. Just has really struggled to be consistent offensively.
Down the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one is way up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But a chance for him to get some at bats today. This game for the team, as far as the standings go, doesn't hold any significance. So a chance to get him some swings.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It does. It makes sense because you just never know this time of year with the amount of injuries that they've had, both position play wise and on the mound. You're kind of looking for just a little bit of lightning in a bottle. Can I find something, a spark maybe, that we weren't expecting going into the tournament? So I think it makes perfect sense today to give Sam the opportunity.
2-2 pitches, a breaking ball that stays up. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. You saw that a little bit last season with a guy like Trey Hinton, who kind of found his way into the lineup, and then you just couldn't take him out after that.
That's right. Yeah, and Trey's another great example of that. Just a baseball player and gives you a chance. And a good job there by Sam getting back in the count, drawing a base on balls, and extending the inning, and guys is a threat to steal second base as well.
And he draws his 8th walk of the season, and he is a 2-out base runner for the third baseman, Jaden Stiegel, who flied out to left his first time up. Stiegel, somewhat of a rarity, a freshman who comes in and gets to go right off the bat. Usually you might have one a year that does that, and then he was the one this year out of Georgia, and again, keep him healthy, and he can do things on the base paths and at the plate.
Yeah, got a really, really bright future. And when recruiting this young man, we saw what we kind of call the it factor. He's a guy that really competes, understands how to play, and very versatile. Can play third, can play short, can play second. So it's good to see him. He's had a great freshman year. You take away the injury bug there's no telling what he may have done coming into today, hitting 289. And played through some injury there for a little while before Coach Steele actually had to just get him out of the lineup and let him heal up.
Urban over at first base, 4 stolen bases in 6 attempts. He's got a pretty good lead over there right now. And now another pickoff attempt by Shirazi and back in safely on the dive.
And this is exactly why the running game's so critical. 2 outs, they got a 1-0 lead, and the focus right now on the mound is our base runner. So that's why the base running aspect's so critical. Can we take his mind off what he's supposed to be doing?
And Stiegel shoot one through the right side for a base hit. Urban will take the turn, but he'll hold up at second. And Stiegel finds the hole on the right side for a base hit, second hit of the game for the Pioneers.
And bringing the guy to the plate that you want at the plate here with Dalton Martin. And we were talking about him early during his first at-bat, and just what he's meant to this program, and just a guy that's really one of the best all-around hitters that we've had in the program. And when he settles in and doesn't try to do too much, he's by far, in my opinion, the most dangerous hitter in this league.
If you look at his career stats, 146 runs scored, 212 hits, 54 doubles, 16 homers, 128 RBIs, 101 walks, and a .392 batting average. Consider that, and then consider he's only a junior.
Exactly. Not bad numbers.
No. He takes that first pitch low and away for a ball, 1-0. Set career highs this year Run score, doubles, homers, RBIs, walks. His walks went from 26 last year to 48 this year, but a lot of that's a byproduct of teams being careful with him. But still, he has a good eye at the plate, and he knows what he's doing when he steps in the box.
Yeah, and that's an area that he needed to improve on. I mean, there's one guy you're going to circle on your scouting report every time you play Tusculum, and he's going to be that guy. Don't let this guy beat us. So that means that your patient as a hitter has to improve and be willing to take those base on balls and let the guy behind you do what he's in the lineup for.
Mm-hmm. Heading the count here, 1 ball and no strikes as Urban dancing off second base now. Shirazi's pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Bryson Ford waiting on deck as the Pioneers have 2 on in an inning for the first time in this game. A walk and then a single.
I think they'll try to stay away just like that from Martin there. He did get a fastball on the outer half, and wouldn't surprise me to see change up or breaking ball here. There's the breaking ball.
Golfs that one into right center field. Charging in as the right fielder, Rennell. It drops in for a base hit. Coming around third is Urban. He'll score. Stiegel goes over to third, and it's an RBI single for Dalton Martin, and we're tied at 1.
Really undecisive there by Fuller in center. I'm really surprised that ball got down.
Martin takes the breaking ball and just golfs it into right center field. And both outfielders coming in, and Rennell looked like he kind of was going to hold it up there at the last second. And it drops in for a base hit as Urban crosses the plate.
Yeah, it makes you question what that communication was like there. Looked like a lack of communication. Both of them kind of pulled up a little bit, and Rennell may have actually had the better shot at that ball.
And there, the 2-out walk by Urban, which seems inconsequential at the time, turns out to be a run.
2-out walks kill you.
Now the batter is 4, and he takes that pitch high for a strike.
That's what you always talk about in this game, too. If you come to the plate with 2 out, nobody on, how can we extend the inning? Find a way to get it to the next guy. But 2-out walks will tend to come back to bite you, and it does for the Bears here.
So Ford here at the plate, he grounded out to second his first time up, and he takes that one inside for a ball, 1-1. Ford, a sophomore out of Knoxville, Bearden High School. Knoxville's been a good ground for getting some good players over the years, and this group here with Ford and Hinton and Willis and even Trevor Lloyd, you got some guys from that area. As that pitch hits him, as Ford is hit by a pitch, just the 6th time this season he's been hit, and now the bases are loaded for the cleanup hitter Nate Montgomery.
Yeah, Knoxville has been a good area for us over the years. A lot of quality coaches in that area, and been able to build some relationships there, so it's been really good. And this brings Montgomery to the plate, and he and I were actually talking about this about a week ago, with guys in scoring position and understanding what the situation is and not trying to do too much. And I know Nate's had a lot of opportunities over the course of the season with guys in scoring position, which I know he would like to be a little bit more productive.
Do you want to know what the numbers are? Nate Montgomery batting with the bases loaded this season. I'll tell you. He's 0 for 11.
Yeah.
So let's break that right here, right now. Shirazi's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. 1 strike to count to Nate Montgomery. Now looking at it from the opposite side of things, I don't know if we have the stats on bases loaded. We don't. Just looking to see what Shirazi does. But with runners on base, a big difference. His batting average against jumps up by 100 points as this one's hitting the left field for a base hit. In to score is Stiegel. Right behind him is Martin. It's a 2-run single for Nate Montgomery, and he gives the Pioneers a 3-1 lead.
Big 2-out hit by Nate. Got a breaking ball in the inner half of the plate, stayed with it, and just got enough of it to get it in the 6th hole. But maybe that'll build some confidence for Nate because, like I said, I didn't know the numbers, but he's really struggled in those situations all year.
He went out and got that breaking ball and just hooked it into left field for the hit. And now the Pioneers, after the first 2 men out, 5 straight reach base, and they lead it 3-1 as Montgomery knocks in a pair now with 39 RBIs in the season. And now Jarrell McDade stands in. McDade singled his first time up. 3 runs here in the 3rd for the Pioneers.
Good opportunity here if Jarrell can be patient, get a good pitch to hit here.
Shirazi's pitch is popped foul, 1 strike.
Good fastball in the inner half of the plate there by Shirazi. He's shown the ability to do that, both to sink the fastball and to come 4-seam hard up and in. So made a couple of mistakes with the breaking ball that's come back to haunt him. Then the 2 out base on balls obviously extends this inning.
0-1 the count to McDade. Shirazi's pitch is popped foul. Out of play. No balls and 2 strikes.
Got a fastball to hit there. He'd like to have that one back because that was in the middle of the plate there for Jarrell. So kind of got to get into 2-strike approach here. Make somebody pick it up and throw you out and see if we can find a way to extend this inning.
McDade, 14 career home runs, 92 career RBIs in 2 seasons here at Tusculum. He's down the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Takes that one up and in, a ball and 2 strikes.
Great conversation with Jarrell yesterday, actually, as they had a family picnic here and temperature was cool. And he said, I'm cold. He said, I'll never forget on the phone call with you. You told me that the weather was very similar to Texas. I said, it is. It just depends on which day you pick. So he's done a great job fitting in here. Just a wonderful human being.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count in Shirazi's pitch. He's down on strikes as Shoemaker holds it for the 3rd out of the inning. But a walk, 2 singles, a hit batter, and a 2-run single by Nate Montgomery. The Pioneers get 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits, and they leave 2. At the end of 3, it is Tusculum 3, Lenior-Rhyne 1 on the Pioneer Sports Network. We are off to the top of the 4th inning with Tusculum leading Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 3-1. As the run by LR in the top of the 3rd, countered by 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd for the Pioneers. LR, heart of the order coming up as Jeffries, the left fielder, will lead it off. Jeffries grounded out to second his first time up, facing Zach Sanders, who's allowed a run on 2 hits so far. First pitch to Jeffries is taken up and in for a ball 1-0.
This is a situation for Zach that you really, I'm sure Coach Steele and everybody else is yelling out of that dugout, go get us a 0 here. After your team comes back and gets you 3, you want your guy to go out there and kind of establish the strike zone, see if he can't have a quick inning.
And he's quickly down to the count, 2 balls and no strikes to Jeffries. He'll be followed by Freeman and Jones here in the 4th. Sanders with the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, Coker leads Carson Newman 3-2 in the 3rd inning, and Mars Hill with a 4-2 lead over Anderson there in the 5th as this one's hit to second. Martin, playing on the edge of the outfield grass, makes the play and throw over in time for the out. And there's one down here in the 4th.
Good pitch by Zach there. Was able to get the fastball in on Jeffries there, and he's forced Jeffries to 2 ground outs to Martin in this game so far.
So bring up the designated hitter Matthew Freeman. Freeman grounded out to short his first time up. Sanders now with 5 ground outs, 3 fly ball outs, and a strikeout. And that one is hit foul, 1 strike. We've got the numbers here on Sanders. Sanders about 50-50 when it comes to fly balls and ground balls. Very neutral when it comes to fly ball pitching. Some guys a lot less so. A guy like Charles Hall, who's about a 2-to-1 ratio on ground balls. And then on the other end, you got some relievers like Lloyd and Kent Noe, who are just fly ball machines.
Yeah, you prefer as a coach, you would prefer to see the ground outs outweigh the fly balls. That means location's a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a ground ball leave the park. So always trying to pitch down in the counts is a good indication.
The ball's in 2 strikes to count here to Freeman. As Sanders gets ahead of the batter, 0-2. That one's low and away, 1-2. It's a fine line there on an 0-2 pitch. You want to, you say you waste one, but at the same time you don't want to just absolutely waste one and just throw a pitch that has no purpose or is nowhere close to the plate.
That's right. You want to be close enough that you give him a chance to get himself out.
That one is popped foul down the right side. Fincham's going to give chase, but it's going to go out of play. And it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes to Freeman. Monday afternoon baseball here at Pioneer Park. Usually, if it's Monday afternoon baseball, it means that the JVs are playing. But today it's the varsity out there against Lenior-Rhyne.
That's right. The Easter weekend has kind of thrown a wrench in everyone's schedule around the league. So conference allowing everyone to use this Monday to complete series, which I think is a good decision, considering that so much is at stake for the bottom half of the teams in the league in particular as we get ready to enter postseason play.
In addition to Coker, Carson Newman, and Mars Hill Anderson, the other game today is just a single game. Queens and Wingate playing tonight at 6 o'clock. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here to Freeman. Sanders' pitch bounced up there. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Zach, just a sophomore. I think if he continues to make some improvements, in particular mechanically and just with not just mechanics, but command as well, is a guy that has a chance to have 2 really good years after this season.
The 2-2 pitch is hit foul again. Well, anytime you got a guy who's 6'4", 210, you figure that if he can put it all together, that's he's got the physical attributes, and now it's time to just put the, instead of being a thrower, being a pitcher.
Absolutely, and learning to use his lower half, which we've talked with him for the past couple of years about. If you watch the difference in him and a Charles Hall and watch the difference in the lower half and how he uses his legs. But Zach's a guy that has gotten much better at that this year, and I think if he continues to make strides, has a chance to be really, really good in this league for the next couple of years.
Freeman fouls another pitch off. It's still 2-2.
And keep in mind, Zach's probably scheduled to be the 3 or 4 starter coming into the year, but due to the injuries, has had to go into that 2 spot in the rotation for Coach Steele. And
that's a tough play there against Fincham as that ball goes off his glove into right field. It's going to be Freeman's going to throw on the brakes and retreat back to second. That'll be an error as that ball was hit on the line, and Fincham looked like he overran it. We'll see here on the replay. As the pitch was driven to right field, it's hit right on the line, and he just overran the ball and then reached back, and it went right off the webbing of his glove for an error.
Yeah, his first step to that ball was wrong, and then tried to recover. That's a play that Zach needs to make, and especially for a pitcher there, you make a mistake and you leave one in the middle there, and Zach, that's a play Finch has to make defensively.
So runner at second base now with 1 out for the shortstop, Jones, who lined out to right his first time up, almost a similar ball, and that one, although that one that Freeman hit, I think was hit a little bit harder, but pitches inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes to count to Will Jones.
And those are the mistakes there that you just try to overcome, but will tend to come back to bite you a little bit when you don't make what routine college players, you expect outfielder to be able to make that play. So Zach trying to pitch around that mistake, and that's what you have to do a lot in this game is just overcome some mistakes that you can't control and be able to pitch around those types of things.
1 ball and no strikes to count here to Jones as he asks for time. Martin with the cover, keeping the runner close at second, although he backs off a little bit as Freeman gets a good jump, though, off second base. Good secondary lead as that one is hit foul into the LR bullpen. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Will Jones. Freeman has not attempted a stolen base this season, so he might be out there just bluffing a little bit, but he's getting a good secondary lead, which can also be attributed to the fact that maybe he needs to get that secondary lead and try and score it on a hit to the outfield.
That's right. It's the difference between safe and out. So he's really working hard on his secondary lead and being very aggressive with it.
1-1 pitch is on the outside corner, a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Jones. Waiting on deck is the first baseman, Alex Reynolds. Sanders gets a sign from Woolenweber. Looks back at Freeman. And the 1-2 pitch. Low and away, 2-2. Good job by Jones there of not chasing that pitch. That's a pitch coming in there that looks like it might be one that is hittable, but he just kind of spit on that one.
Did a nice job there of holding off. And I think if Zach can get that just a little bit closer to the zone, he may get a swing and a miss out of that.
2-2 the count to Jones. Sanders with the 2-2. Hit right back to Sanders. He'll look the runner back to second to throw on to first in time for the out. Now that pitch, he got a little bit more of the plate, but he got enough of it off the plate that he made Jones chase that time. He threw his pitch that time.
Sure did. Good change up there, and he got some sink, got some downward action out of the change up, which he needs to do, just be able to find that consistency. And I wonder, with the issues that Zach's had with his finger, how comfortable he is. The breaking ball command hasn't been real good, and he's left several change-ups in the middle, but that was a good one with good downward action on the outer half.
So Reynolds, the batter, he popped up to second his first time up, batting now with 2 outs, and Freeman saw on at second base. Sanders' pitch, the breaking ball, hit to center field. Urban will track it to his left, and he'll have it lined up and make the catch. And Sanders able to work around the error, and he leaves the runner on at second base. No runs, no hits, an error, and 1 left. Middle of the 4th, it is Tusculum 3 and Lenior-Rhyne 1 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Legendary discounts made Johnson City Toyota #1. And this month, our discounts are huge with savings up to $5,600 on new Toyotas. Camrys are discounted up to $3,800. So ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota and get your savings today.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Off to the bottom of the 4th inning with Tusculum leading Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 3-1 as the Pioneers scored 3 in the 3rd to overcome an early 1-0 deficit. Elsewhere in the South Atlantic Conference, Anderson has taken the lead on Mars Hill. They lead at 5-4 at the end of 5 innings, and Coker still leads Carson Newman 3-2 in the 3rd in Game 2 of their doubleheader. Carson Newman won the opener by a score of 13-3. Lenior-Rhyne needs to do better than at least one of those 2 teams, either Coker or Anderson, in order to clinch a playoff spot. Leading off for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 4th inning is the designated hitter Bradley Evans. Evans lined into a double play his first time up, hit one hard right at the second baseman Johnson, which was turned into a double play. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Bradley Evans.
Bradley's one of the guys I'm sure Coach Steele, along with Urban, trying to get some at-bats here the next 2 games just to see how he looks going into the conference tournament.
And he goes the other way for the second time in as many at-bats and hits that one on the line to the right fielder, Rennell, for the first out. He's gone opposite way twice, and I bet he probably hasn't gone the opposite way in 5 times this season. He's a very dead pull hitter, but he took those 2 the other way, which is a good sign. It's he had a couple good swings on him.
Really good to see, actually, staying inside the ball and going the other way with it. So far, so good for Bradley.
Chase Woolenweber gets hit by a pitch, and he'll be a 1-out base runner as he took that one right off of the, looked like it might have got him in Yeah, right below the knee, I guess. He didn't rub it or anything. He just took off to first base. He's a catcher, so he's different by nature.
Yes.
And that's just a foul tip for a catcher.
Yeah, used to getting hit. So the tools of ignorance always come into play and helping you offensively as well.
Zach Fincham steps up. Fincham flied out to right his first time up. Zach coming into play today with 194 career hits, so trying to get him up to that 200 milestone. I'm hoping that he has a good day today and has a couple big games at the tournament and try and get him to that 200 mark.
That would be good to see. Local product out of Greenville High School, great family, been very supportive of the program. And like I said, Zach's played in a lot of big games and come up with some big hits. And even though his numbers are not what he would like them to be or anybody would like them to be this year, he still has had some big hits for the Pioneers this year, and had a big double, I know, in the series at Carson Newman to extend that lead in the third game of that series. And so a guy that's very, very capable. It'd be good to see him to get going a little bit today and go into that conference tournament on a high note.
1 ball and no strikes to count to Fincham. Woolenweber at first base, 0 for 3 in steal attempts this year. As Fincham fouls this one out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, just Finch struggling a little bit there, just collapsed on the front side, and something he's battled over his time here. He's just really a guy that has to hit against a firm front side in order to be successful, and has a tendency to kind of collapse on that front leg.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Fincham. Stretched by Shirazi. Throw over to first. Woolenweber back in on the dive. No wind to speak of today. Usually that flag is blowing towards left field pretty hard, but today a very calm day. And although the days when the flag is blowing out, it usually doesn't affect home run balls. Well, you rarely see wind-blown home runs here.
Yeah, unusual today to see it that calm and quiet today. We usually get some wind going out that direction to left center. But you're right, the ball's always carried better here to left center and left field than it does to the right side. But one thing I love about Pioneer Park is that if you hit it, you're going to earn it, and that's the way it should be.
2 balls and a strike, the count to Fincham. Another throw over to first, and a quick tag by Reynolds, and safely on the dive is Woolenweber. Shading Fincham slightly towards right center field is the outfielders Fuller and Rennell. Jeffries more straight away and left. 2-1 pitch is low, 3-1. So now hitters count here, 3 balls and a strike, and Finch has to be looking for something that he can do something with.
Yeah, something in his box and his box only. Also a good opportunity if you want to start the runner a 3-1 count and potentially stay out of the ground ball double play. We'll see what Coach Miller decides here.
Runner holds, 3-1 pitches inside, ball 4. Third walk of the game, or second walk of the game for the Pioneers. There was also a hit batter, or 2 hit batters. So Shirazi's kind of hurt himself here a little bit in the last couple innings with a couple of walks and a couple of hit batters. We'll see if that hurts him here in this situation as Sam Urban comes up with 2 on and 1 out. Urban walked with 2 outs in the third inning and sparked a 3-run rally.
It'd be good to see Sam have a good at bat here. Did a good job in his first at bat, falling behind in the count and working his way back, and ended up drawing a base on balls, which led to the 3-run inning. So it'd be good to see him have a good at bat here and maybe get himself going a little bit going into the conference tournament as well.
Conversation taking place now on the mound is a discussion here. What do you think the conversation is going on right now out there between the staff and the players?
I think it's just a little bit of a reminder, give a little bit of a break here as well, but just kind of breaking down mechanically the last couple of hitters that he's faced. So I'd think, hey, let's just get back to what's made you successful and back mechanically. And also I think sometimes it's just good to give a guy a little bit of a breather, after the last 2 hitters and a hit batsman and then ahead in the count actually, and then walking someone. So just trying to get him refocused and regrouped, I'm sure is mostly what that conversation was about.
Saw stretching and starting to get limbered up in the bullpen, Austin Collins and Christian Kuba for the Pioneers, as they might be thinking Sanders might, if they give him 4 or 5 innings, that would be perfect.
Yeah, he's been a guy, Zach's been basically a guy that's a five inning guy, maybe a 6 inning guy for him all year. So I'm sure that's what Coach Steele and Coach Allen are thinking about is, who are we gonna go with next?
One strike the count here to Urban as he swings and misses on the delivery. The stretch. And now cheating in is the shortstop Jones, and time is called as Urban asks for and is granted time. Sanders' best start of the season came against Notre Dame of Ohio back on February 15th. He won the game 7-4, but he took a shutout into the 7th inning for kind of faltering at the end there.
Yeah. That's something that we've also talked. They talked, we got to throw away.
Pickoff throw is behind the shortstop Jones, and the runners are going to each move up. So now the Pioneers with runners at second and third, as that pickoff throw was just behind the Jones as he was covering. So it'll be an error on the pitcher. We'll see it here on the replay as they run a timing play. He flashed the glove, and the throw just happened to be, they weren't going to get him anyway, but the throw was behind Jones, and he had no chance on that one as ball goes into center field.
No, the throw working right into the runner there just puts the shortstop in a bad situation. So an opportunity for Sam that we put a ball in play here in the middle somewhere.
No one pitch is outside 1-1.
Able to get a run and capitalize on the mistakes that they've made in this inning, a hit batsman, a walk, and then an error. So this is an opportunity that you have to capitalize on.
Urban, 6'1", 205-pound senior out of Purcellville, Virginia. Transfer from Liberty University. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike two.
It's a little too big on that swing there. Hopefully he'll shorten up here, choke up with 2 strikes, and find a way to put a ball in play for us here.
At third base, Woolenweber, and Fincham on at second. Stiegel, the top of the order, waits on deck. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. Shirazi's pitch is outside 2-2. Infield playing back here in the 3-1 game. I mean, we are in the 4th inning, but I guess the thinking being that don't allow Tusculum to have a big inning.
Yeah, I think that's the whole key here for them defensively. If they get out of here with only giving up 1, based on the mistakes they've made, they'll feel pretty good about that.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Urban down on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Shirazi, and there's 2 outs here in the 4th.
Now you have a chance for a momentum shift. Just as in the last inning, Zach was able to overcome that mistake and right by Fincham. Now he's 1 pitch away here from getting out of an inning where basically he's created all the mistakes that have taken place in this inning. So an opportunity for a momentum shift here if LR can get out of this inning unscathed.
It'll be up to Stiegel, and he takes that pitch for a strike.
Good breaking ball in the outer half, and good pitch, and also a good take by Stiegel. Try to hunt for something a little bit more in your box to hit in this situation.
Stiegel has flied out and singled, scored a run. 1 pitch, pop foul, 0-2.
So again, able to come hard up and in. Shirazi's done a pretty good job on occasion of being able to mix that breaking ball and then come hard, forcing him in.
Might try and see him come back with that same pitch and see if he can, if at worst, tie Stiegel up and maybe get a soft ground ball.
Right.
That one goes up and away, 1-2.
Yeah. Seeing if he can get him to chase out of the zone. He's in command here. He can come back with the breaking ball, or he can come hard in again. So as a hitter, you're obviously sitting fastball first and then trying to make your own adjustment in this situation if you do get breaking ball.
1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Jaden Stiegel. Shirazi's pitch, low in the dirt. Good block by the catcher Shoemaker. Saved a run.
Sure did. Glove save.
Or given this backstop, might have saved a run.
Right.
Because we've seen plenty of bounces over the years off the bricks behind home plate, and all of a sudden it's right back there at home where it came from.
Definitely something you have to be aware of. Is it going to get brick or is it going to get pad? And that's all the difference.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Stiegel, with Dalton Martin waiting on deck. Shirazi tries to get out of this jam here in the 4th inning. The stretch, the 2-2 pitch. Chop to third, past the third baseman. Oh, they're going to call it a foul ball. It's a foul ball. We'll see if we have a replay on that. And pass our own conclusions here as the pitch comes in from Shirazi. Jackson dove for the ball, but it was past him, and we'll never know. It hit fair at the in front of the plate, but it was down the line, and Shoemaker immediately calling it a foul ball, and didn't see much of an argument from Coach Miller, so it must have been.
It was very close, and it was a delayed response by Bill Williams behind the plate, but I don't know. It was very close, but at a glance up here, I thought the ball was just foul.
Yeah, and Steele is right down the line there. It's in the dugout. The 2-2 pitch is popped in the air to left center field. Fuller, the center fielder, calls for it and makes the catch. And Shirazi works the tightrope, gets out of the inning without any damage. No runs, no hits, an error, and 2 men left on base. We go to the 5th. It's Tusculum 3, Lenior-Rhyne 1 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you? To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus? What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Hello, my name is Jacob Fate, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
Off to the top of the 5th inning with Tusculum leading Lenior-Rhyne 3-1. Tusculum 3 runs, 4 hits, an error. Lenior-Rhyne 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error so far. Zach Sanders has struck out 1, not walked a batter, and thrown 64 pitches through 4 innings. Jim Miller with you this afternoon, joined by former head coach and current director of athletics Doug Jones, and our producer today is Nick Forsberg. Glad you could join us here at Pioneer Park for Game 1 of this doubleheader between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne, the final day of the regular season in the South Atlantic Conference. Top of the 5th inning, it's the bottom third of the order for the Bears, with the the catcher Zach Shoemaker leading off. He grounded to short his first time up. Sanders with his first pitch is hit foul to the backstop, 1 strike.
I'm sure Coach Steele's thinking here he'd really like to be able to get at least 2 more innings out of Zach with the injuries that the Pioneers have, and the rest of the game, and then in the next game I know he's just going to be trying to piece things together. So pretty important here for Zach to have a couple clean innings here and give that bullpen a little bit of rest, and so Coach Steele can figure out the remainder of this game.
Sanders has only allowed 3 base runners, a single and a double and then an error. He's ahead in the count here, no balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch is low and in the dirt, 1-2. Elsewhere in the conference this afternoon, Coker has extended its lead on Carson Newman, now 5-2 in the 4th inning, and Anderson has added a run. They lead Mars Hill 6-4, as that game is in the bottom of the 6th inning. So for Lenior-Rhyne, that's bad news. 1-2 pitch is bounced up there, 2-2.
Yeah, choked a change up there again. Zach's done a good job to keep LR off the board here. He's not had great command, but been able to find a way to make a pitch when he has to.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Shoemaker. Sanders pitch, tries to get him to chase, and I believe he held up, and he did. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Sharpest breaking ball Zach has thrown today, just not close enough to the zone to actually get the full commitment out of the hitter there.
That ball had a lot of side movement to it. It started in the middle of the plate and wound up almost in the other batter's box. 3-2 the count to Shoemaker. Sanders pitch off the plate, ball 4. And that's one I think he'd like to have back right there.
Yeah, just was ahead and just lost command there, broke down again mechanically. So not the way you want to start the inning with the 2-run lead.
LR has 2 hits in the game. These next 2 batters are the ones that had them. Hunter Jackson had a single with 1 out in the 3rd inning. He was the first base runner of the game for the Bears and wound up coming around to score on the double by Brock Johnson, who waits on deck. Sanders with the delivery. That's outside for a ball, 1-0. Shoemaker over at first base this year, 2 for 3 on stolen bases.
Zach struggling here a little bit with the mechanics here. He's got to get back down the line and more directional.
Kuba and Collins are just playing catch down in the bullpen right now. Nobody actively warming. They're just getting some tosses in here. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, and Cuba, a guy for the Pioneers who got off to a really good start at the beginning of the season and has kind of struggled there in the middle half of the year. Another guy that they really need to get going.
1-1 the count here to Jackson. Pitch low, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count to Hunter Jackson.
The Bears have not shown bunt here at all, so obviously just trying to find a way to have a big inning here, and a lot of baseball left to play, so a ground ball would be good here for Zach.
2-1 pitch. It's a little bit high, 3-1. So Sanders in danger of putting himself in a jam of his own doing here as he's walked 1 and behind 3-1 here to Jackson. Stretch the 3-1 pitch. That's up and in, ball 4. And back-to-back walks to lead off the 5th inning.
I think you'll see the bullpen start to heat up now. Zach, for some reason, has really lost his mechanics here and struggled, and back-to-back walks. Wouldn't surprise me here to see LR sacrifice bunt here and move these guys up into scoring position.
Johnson, a 203 hitter coming into play, although he did have an RBI double hit. It one hop the fence in left center to drive in the only run of the game. Batting with runners at first and second, nobody out. Creeping in at third base is Stiegel as that pitch is up and in for a ball, 1-0. And now Coach Steele tells Willenweber to go out and talk to him.
Yeah, no sign of bunt there, and it could be a couple things. One, they're going to let Johnson hit, who did have a great at bat his first plate appearance, or number 2, just take a pitch until we get a strike and force Zach to throw some strikes, and then put the sacrifice bunt on.
Cuba is getting heated now. He's in full warm-up mode at this point, as the Pioneers may have to dip into that bullpen here in this 5th inning. But all it takes is 1 well-placed ground ball, and things are looking up. As we see Cuba getting loose down there in the bullpen. 1-0 the count to Johnson. Showing bunt, taking a strike.
Good breaking ball there from Zach. So another opportunity here for the Pioneers if Ford wants to put something on, some type of action pick play here with the runner at second, extending that lead.
As Cuba continues to get loose in the bullpen. No bullpen activity for Lenior-Rhyne as we're here in the top of the 5th inning. And time is called at the plate. Montgomery in on the grass. See what kind of coverage the Pioneers. Stiegel might stay home here as Montgomery creeping in from first. Looks like that's what they'll do. Swinging away and fouling that off. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And now you have an opportunity if you're Zach. If you could find a way to get a strikeout or a lazy fly ball here without advancing the runners, you know, you're back in control of the inning here. So big pitch here coming up from Zach, and see if he can execute one.
And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stretch by Sanders. And the 1-2 pitch. right there for a called third strike. Good pitch by Sanders, and he catches Johnson looking. His second strikeout of the game, one down here in the fifth.
Great call by Coach Ireland there. I think guessing off speed, guessing breaking ball, and you're able to freeze him with the fastball in the outer half of the plate. So big opportunity here for Zach, but he's got to deal at the top of the order here.
And it's E.J. Rennell at the plate. Rennell has struck out looking and flied to center. He has 7 home runs this year to lead the team. An average right around the 300 mark. Sanders with the first pitch. Low and outside, blocked by Woolenweber. 1 ball and no strikes.
Tried to get ahead with the changeup again, but again across his body there and not near the plate. I was just going to say I would expect him to try to make it off something off speed here, but can't afford to fall behind this guy who's got tremendous pop in his bat.
1-0 the count. The Shoemaker's the runner at second. Jackson on at first. Martin cheats in, and now time is called. So we'll do it again here with 1 ball and no strikes to count. Sanders pitch. Hit towards short. Ford's got it. He throws to second for 1. On to first. Double plays. It's picked by Montgomery at first base. Nice turn in the middle there by Dalton Martin, who was already cheating to the bag. So Ford, he delivers the throw right on target. It's a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning.
Big time play here. Good job by Ford getting rid of the baseball, and Dalton Martin's one of the best in the business when it comes to turning the double play. And then great job by Montgomery on the back end, being able to pick that up. Huge momentum swing right there.
So for Lenior-Rhyne in the fifth, no runs, no hits, and 1 left on base. We're halfway home, middle of the fifth. It's Tusculum 3, Lenior-Rhyne 1 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
We are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County, you farm tomatoes, then you're in. Just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story.
Off to the bottom of the fifth inning with Tusculum leading Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 3-1, and Dalton Martin will lead off the bottom half of the fifth inning for the Pioneers. Martin is lined out and had an RBI single, which tied the game back in the third inning, facing Alex Shirazi, who has allowed 3 runs on 4 hits and struck out 3. He's also walked 2 and hit a pair. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Martin, who'll be followed by Ford and Montgomery here in the fifth.
Shirazi's done a good job, too, of working around some situations and keeping his team in the game here.
The 1-0 pitch is low and in, 2-0.
Coming off an inning where both teams had a golden opportunity. The Pioneers can't convert with second and third, less than 2 outs. And then the Bears first and second, nobody out, unable to scratch anything across.
2-0 pitch is low, 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes to count to Dalton Martin, who's drawn 48 walks this season. Trey Hinton, who's not in the starting lineup today, he's right up there with Martin when it comes to walks. He's walked a bunch of times. There he is, 48 walks as well, but now Martin just draws his 49th walk to regain the team lead. So, as that pitch was inside and buzzed him. And Martin is the leadoff base runner here in the 5th.
We're going to see activity now in the LR bullpen.
So 4-pitch walk to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning, and Bryson Ford will step up. Ford has grounded out and been hit by a pitch. Shirazi had only hit 5 batters in 66 in the 3rd inning, so it must be something with Tusculum. It just seems like that if there's batters to be hit, we've got them. That's 76 batters that have been hit this season by opposing pitchers, and Tusculum's only hit 32. I heard somebody say once that is actually a skill, that being hit by a pitch, because you got to have the guts to stand in there and take one if you need to, and some guys just hang over the plate a little bit more.
Yeah, the willingness to stay in there and not move, and a commitment to kind of get as far on top of the plate as you can and force them to.
Running jump from Martin. The pitch is a strike. The throw to second is late, and Dalton Martin has a stolen base, his 16th of the season, as he literally got a running start. He was hopping off the bag at first, and then the last hop, he was gone. And Shoemaker basically a catch and throw there. I would be interested to see what his pop time was on that one, but stolen base for Martin.
Yeah, great job on the vault, just kind of bouncing out, and timing that good. So, again, the Pioneers worked very hard on that, and it's really paid dividends for them this season.
1-1 strike to count here to Ford. The pitch is taken for a strike. I was going to say that Ford ideally would try and hit one to the right side here, but he's got a huge hole on the left side as they're covering with the shortstop, Jones.
Yeah, interesting strategy here with the shortstop holding him on, but of course the spray chart will show you that Ford does spray the ball that way quite a bit to the right side.
1-2 the count to Ford. Pitch. Inside hit him again, so the second time that Ford's been hit.
And another big mistake by LR here. I mean, ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Shirazi coming inside, and like I said, he's got 2-seam run, and then he can throw the 4-seam hard and in, but that 2-seam got away from him and created another situation here.
There is bullpen activity for Lenior-Rhyne as they have right-hander Kane Kaiser warming up.
Interesting to see here if Coach Miller, Coach Steele will ask Nate to lay down a bunt here. A little unusual with your 4-guy up, so curious to see how they decide to play it here.
Montgomery had a 2-run single his last time up, which gave Tusculum the 3-1 lead. Doesn't show bunt, fouls that one away, 1 strike. Also, obviously, the double steal is in effect too, as you've got 2 guys in the base pass who can move, and there's a lot of options open here for the offense.
Yeah, you can do a lot of different things here. Depends on how good a job they do of pinching in the middle and holding Martin here. But Nate needs to look for something up here that he can drive.
No balls and 1 strike to count. The pitch. Swings and misses that one. 0-2. That looked like he took a little bit off of that.
Yeah, got a change up and made a mistake with it, actually. Change up in the plate and up in the zone, and Nate unable to connect there. He's got to really find a way to grind here with 2 strikes.
McDade waits on deck. Pitch. Hit back up the middle in the center field. It's a base hit. Martin makes the turn at third. He's heading home, and he'll score without a throw, as Nate Montgomery has knocked in 3 runs. With an RBI single there, it's 4-1 Tusculum.
Good job here by Nate, staying on the breaking ball, staying in the middle of the field. A good job, and Martin almost got himself in trouble there. He had broke towards third and shut it down. He was going to run on the pitch, and fortunately he's able to still score.
So Nate Montgomery with a couple RBI hits here, now with 40 RBIs on the season. And Jarrell McDade bats, same situation, runners at first and second, nobody out. McDade has singled, stolen a base, and struck out. And Shirazi will book the runner back to second base, Ford.
Yeah, and again, the base running threat is causing some issues for the Bears. Just a little distraction, take the focus off the hitter, and hopefully you can take advantage of a mistake that he may make here.
Stretch by Shirazi. And the pitch. is low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Good job by McDade there, because that's a pitch he really struggles laying off of, is that breaking ball down. So that's good to see. Maybe he can have a quality at bat here, come up in the big spot. An opportunity to really stretch this lead, which the Pioneers need to do with the bullpen situation in the shape it's in.
1 ball and no strikes the count. Now time is called as McDade asks for and is granted time. McDade with 47 runs batted in leads the team. Entered play today, tied for 3rd in the conference in RBIs. Take a look at the numbers here. His batting as he pops that one foul right side. That'll be out of play. McDade with runners on base this season hitting just .291, but again, it's coming through when you need to, and he has done so time and again in situations where you need a hit and you need a run, and he's come through.
Yeah, had some big hits and some big spots here. I would expect Shirazi here to try to stay with the breaking ball, or if he does get fastball, he's going to try to come up and in. Jarrell, that's kind of the scouting report on him, either hard in or soft away.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Shirazi's pitch comes in on him, and he pops this one up into left field. Coming in is the left fielder Jeffries, and he'll make the catch for the out, 1 down. So Shirazi wins that battle as he came up and in on McDade, and he just, you hate to say it, but he kind of got himself out there.
Sure did. Yeah, and he's frustrated after that at bat. So I'm just, in that situation, you want to leave the field with at least advancing the runners and giving your next guy a chance to put the ball in play and get yourself an additional run here. So big spot here for Bradley Evans.
Evans has hit the ball hard twice, both to the right side. He lined into a double play his first time up and lined to right his second time. Shirazi's pitch to him is line fouled on the left side, 1 strike. That time he was able to turn on the fastball and just was out in front of it.
Yeah, eyes got really big right there. Saw something up and just out in front.
1 strike to count to Bradley Evans. On deck is Chase Woolenweber, the catcher. 1 down here in the 5th. Ford taking a lead off second as the pitch comes in, and that one catches the bottom half of the zone. 1 no balls and 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball there by Shirazi.
So now he has Evans set up, no balls and 2 strikes. Again, as a pitcher, this just opens up so many options for you here.
Yeah, trying to make a pitch here just to let him get himself out. So going to have some discipline here from Bradley.
The 0-2 pitch. Hit up the middle. On the dive, it's knocked down by Jones, but he'll have no play, and that will be a base hit for Bradley Evans. An infield single for Bradley Evans, which I'll say it because we don't say it very often, but that was a mistake on an 0-2 pitch this time, as he just caught way too much of the plate with that breaking ball. And a good job by the base umpire, John White, to get out of the way.
Yeah, and really a great play by Jones to keep that ball in the infield. And looks like we might have a pitch and change here, and but a great job by Jones to keep the ball in the infield and still give the Bears an opportunity with the ground ball to get out of this inning.
Absolutely. That will be the end of the day for Shirazi as he will step out. As I said earlier, that Kane Kaiser was warming up, and I believe he's going to be the one coming into the ball game, and he is. And we'll have the information on Kaiser when we come back. Your score: Tusculum 4 and Lenior-Rhyne 1 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Legendary discounts made Johnson City Toyota #1, and this month our discounts are huge with savings up to $5,600 on new Toyotas. Camrys are discounted up to $3,800, so ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota and get your savings today.
The first date. Only 1 chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so Sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, it's funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
New pitcher here for Lenior-Rhyne is going to be the right-hander, Kane Kaiser. Have the numbers for you here on Kaiser, as he is making his 11th appearance of the season. He's made 4 starts. He's 1-1 with an ERA of 9.00. 22 innings pitched, 30 hits, 22 earned runs. He's walked 12, struck out 28. Opponents are hitting .319 against Kane Kaiser, who is a freshman, 6'3", 215 pounds, out of Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, East Surrey High School.
Yeah, just looking at Kaiser warm up here, just looks to be a tall right-hander when the ball really comes out of his hand good. So probably a guy still learning how to pitch in this league, but from a velocity standpoint, really looks like the ball comes out well.
He'll face Chase Woolenweber with the bases loaded and 1 out. Woolenweber has grounded out and been hit by a pitch. 4 to third, Montgomery at second, Evans at first with 1 out here in the 5th, and Tusculum leading 4-1 as time is called.
Really key for the Pioneers. You want to come out of this situation with at least adding 1 more here.
Pitch from Kaiser is a breaking ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Is that more slider or more curve action?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slider there. He cut it just a little bit. And good job by Chase laying off of that pitch. Definitely want to hunt fastball in this situation.
1-0 pitch. That one's up and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, with that arm action there on the breaking ball, I think he'll struggle. And his numbers indicate that. He'll struggle throwing that for a strike consistently. So dead red right here. If you're Chase, you're going to get fastball to hit.
2-0 pitch. He gets the fastball and takes it for a strike, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Woolenweber, with Zach Fincham waiting on deck.
Big hole on the left side if you can get the bat head out.
That pitch is low in the dirt, blocked by Shoemaker. 3 balls and a strike. He's done a nice job back there, knocking down some nasty pitches in the dirt.
Yes, he saved him a couple of runs back there today. He's done a really nice job. It wouldn't surprise me here. Interesting to see if Wooly takes a pitch here and forces the full count, or just look for something very specific in your box and be aggressive.
3-1 the count, the pitch. He takes that one to right field. It's going to be foul, giving chase is first baseman Reynolds, but it lands out of play, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So now the base is loaded, 1 out and a full count.
Yeah, Chase just a little bit late on that fastball, unable to get the bat head to it there. So again, this is a situation where you don't leave it in anybody else's hands but yours. So anything close here, gotta be aggressive and ready to go.
3-2 the count. Kaiser peers in for the sign from Shoemaker. And now time is called as Woolenweber is granted time.
Good job. Good job by Chase there. Reset.
The stretch by Kaiser, the 3-2 pitch. Got him to chase the slider, and he's out for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, swung at ball 4, and probably the indication there, if you're Chase, he had shaken before Chase stepped out and asked for time, so kind of indicates there to you that he may have been looking to throw the breaking ball and swung at ball 4 in that situation.
So Zach Fincham will try and pick up Woolenweber. He's flied to right and walked. Batting with the bases loaded, 2 outs. The first pitch is in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. So Shirazi hoping that Kaiser can get this last out and limit the damage in his record, as he's on the hook for all 4 runs so far, plus the 3 runners on base.
Yeah, another opportunity here. I mean, it's just this is the 3rd momentum swing type of situation that we've had in this game. If he gets out of here, keeping it a 3-run game, just done a great job.
That pitch is taken for a strike, 1-1. Pioneers left 2 on in the 3rd. They left 2 in scoring position in the 4th. And then in this inning, they've got the bases loaded. So
yeah,
the runners have been there the last few innings, and they've gotten the runs, but they've also had a chance for more. As that pitch, kind of a half swing by Fincham, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. This pitch coming in from Kaiser, and Fincham could not hold up.
Yeah. Got to recognize here.
The 1-2 pitch leaves that one over the plate, but that's going to be chopped to third. And throw across by the third baseman Jackson is in time for the out, so the Pioneers get a run, but they leave 3 on base. 1 run in the inning on 2 hits, and the bases left loaded. Through 5, it is Tusculum 4, Lenior-Rhyne 1 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
It's fine. It'll be okay, okay? Nobody cares about the flowers. Who needs flowers at a wedding?
At Ingalls, we know that the best of plans don't always go according to plan.
My best friend's getting married today and the florist never showed.
That's why we're always there when you need us.
What are their colors?
Purple and cream.
With smiling faces and helping hands.
No one cares. No one cares. You will look great. Flowers are not important. And where is Holly? Have you anyone seen Holly?
And although life will be predictably unpredictable,
Let's get you to that wedding.
a curveball is that much more satisfying
I got the flowers!
when you knock it out of the park.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
So when the plan goes out the window and improvisation becomes the order of the day, just remember, that's where the best of memories are made.
All right, they're ready for us.
True story. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
New pitcher for the Pioneers is right-hander Christian Cuba. Cuba, who's been used out of the bullpen for the Pioneers this season, making his 17th appearance. He does have 1 start, 2 wins, 3 losses, 4 saves, a 6.56 earned run average, 23 in the 3rd innings, 21 hits, 17 earned runs, 20 walks, 38 strikeouts, and 23 in the 3rd innings. Opponents hitting .244 against their right-hander Christian Cuba, 6 foot 230 pounds, junior out of Miami, Florida, in his 2nd season with the Pioneers. And he's a guy who you said has gotten off to a good start this season, and if they can get him back into that form in the second, or for the heading into the SAC tournament, that would be putting this bullpen in a much better place.
Yes, they're going to need him if they're going to make any type of run in the conference tournament. So anxious to see how he does here this afternoon.
With Christian, it's always about control. If he's finding the zone and getting strikes, he's very tough to hit against. But if he's all over the place and walking guys and throwing wild pitches, then it's a different story. But good Christian Cuba is as good as there is.
That's right. He can be his own worst enemy when he's not able to command the strike zone and create situation by walking guys and hitting guys, and gets ahead here 0-2, and see what Coach Ireland would like to go with here. He's got a good breaking ball when he can command the zone with it.
Fuller chops one to second base, and Martin will throw on to first base for the out. So Grant Fuller is now 0 for 3 as he's rounded out twice to second, and there's one out here in the 6th. Sanders' final line, he went 5 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 2. And through 81 pitches, 49 strikes, 32 balls.
Yeah, decent outing for Zach. Was able to work around some situations that he created. One misplayed ball and right by Fincham. So, again, I think the next step for Zach is to be a guy that can go deeper in games and give you 6-7 innings. And so I'm sure that's what Coach Steele will be looking for. But, again, coming off the hand injury and some things that he's been dealing with, to get 5 solid innings out of him is a good outing for Zach.
Clayton Jeffries, the batter, he's grounded out to second twice. That breaking ball is a little bit low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, good breaking ball there by Cuba. So if he can locate that pitch down and pitch ahead in the count, got a chance to be very dangerous.
Austin Collins doing some tossing down in the bullpen. And that pitch is taken for a strike. With these lefties, Fuller and Jeffries back-to-back, you'd think get to about the 8th inning or so, we might be seeing Mitch McCain out there trying to get those guys out.
I would think so. If you can find a way to get to the 8th, 9th inning and finish it with McCain, I think would be ideal for Coach Steele.
That pitch is taken for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Jeffries.
I would think he'll try to go hard in here with something with Jeffries at the plate and on top of the plate. We'll see what he does here.
Cuba's 2-2 pitch is fouled away to the left side, still 2-2.
He got fastball, but he ended up on the outer half of the plate. I still think if he can locate here, hard in is the place to go.
So 2-2 the count to Jeffries, with Freeman, the designated hitter, waiting on deck. Coker and Carson Newman now tied 5-5 in the 6th. And Anderson now 10-4 over Mars Hill. That pitch is taken for a ball. It's a full count.
Not sure where that pitch missed right there. That's a good pitch and a tough take.
3-2 the count. Pitch, chop foul, still a full count. Softball action this afternoon. The Pioneers losing to Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 11-6 in Game 1 of their doubleheader. We were looking at the conference standings in softball, and this one's fouled away. You can just throw a blanket over everybody. The conference champion's going to have 12. We're going to have a 12-8 record this season, which is just staggering.
Yeah,
that it's that much parity in the conference.
Just unheard of, and that's the one thing about this league is that the parity in every sport is remarkable, especially the difference if you look back 10 years ago compared to today.
A 3-2 pitch is hit up the middle into center field for a base hit, so Jeffries has a 3rd hit of the game for the Bears, his first of the game, and he is a 1-out base runner for the designated hitter Matthew Freeman. So Cuba will try and get a double play ground ball here as the Pioneers got out of that 5th inning on a double play grounder that was started by Ford at shortstop. Freeman would, in theory, be a candidate for a double play ground ball, but let's see how many he's hit into this season. He's only grounded into 1 double play, so maybe not. Maybe he's. I think it might be more of a byproduct of him being a fly ball hitter.
Yeah, he's the last at bat's the one that hit the ball well to right field that Fincham misplayed a little bit. So a guy that's capable of using the entire field.
And he skies that one foul right side, 1 ball and 1 strike. See if the numbers back up my intuition here on Freeman about his fly ball tendencies. And sure enough, yeah, he's about a 1.6 fly ball to ground ball ratio. So he's a guy who's going to be hitting the ball in the air.
Yeah.
1-1 the count here to Freeman. The pitch on the outside corner. Good pitch, a ball and 2 strikes.
Good location right there. Cuba can make a pitch here. This is where he needs to be more consistent right here. Head and count 1-2. Can you make a pitch that gets someone to chase something out of the zone here?
Stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Leaves that breaking ball up, and it's hit into left center field for a base hit. Moving up to second base and holding there will be Jeffries. It's back-to-back singles for the Bears.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference. If you look back in the season, when Christian started the year, he was making the pitches there went ahead in the count to put guys away and getting a lot of swing and misses. And here lately, just, that's a breaking ball in the middle of the plate, and you can't make that pitch in the college game. Guys are too good of hitters.
So now 2 on and 1 out on back-to-back singles, and it'll bring the shortstop Will Jones to the plate. Jones lined out to right and was out on a comebacker his last time up. Jones coming into play today, hitting .304 on the season. The Pioneers trying to nurse this 4-1 lead to the finish. First pitch is up and in for a ball, 1-0. One ball and no strikes the count to Will Jones. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Good fastball here. Pioneers need a ground ball, something lazy here. Jones runs fairly well, so not an easy guy to double up here.
Martin playing very close to the bag at second. Giving Jones a big hole there on the right side to shoot one through. The 1-1 pitch popped up in the infield, foul, and Montgomery calls for it and makes the catch for the second out.
Good job there. Elevated the fastball, got him to chase something there. Good pitch. And then going back to the breaking ball in the previous spot, that's something Coach Ireland's really worked with Christian on, is not necessarily throwing the breaking ball, which he likes to throw, but throw the slider, which is harder and down. And so I think that's something Christian needs to continue to work on, is throwing more of the slider than the breaking ball that's trackable.
So 2 on and 2 out for the first baseman, Alex Reynolds, who's popped up to second and flied out to center. Pitch, he went around, 1 strike. Jeffries the runner at second, Freeman on at first after back-to-back singles. The stretch by Cuba. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled away, 0-2.
Good job. Got him set up again here. Let's see. Elevate the fastball again, see if you can get him to chase, or maybe throw the slider on the outer half and see if you can get a chase out of it that way.
Reynolds, a tough batter to strike out. 15 strikeouts and 118 at-bats this season. 0-2, the count, the pitch. Low, and it gets through Woolenweber and goes to the backstop, and the runners will move up. We'll see what the official scorer rules, and he calls that a pass ball.
Absolutely. It's not a pitch that Chase has to handle there. Changes the whole dynamic of the inning here. Base hit now pulls them within 1.
So 2-2 the count, or 1-2 the count to Reynolds. The stretch by Cuba. The 1-2 pitch, high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Alex Reynolds.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Iron's a little bit cautious to go to the breaking ball here, so nothing but hard stuff here, so it's going to come down to location.
Cuba with the stretch. 2-2 pitch, fouled away, still 2-2.
And it's dangerous, as you said. Reynolds, tough guy to strike out, and but if you show him 7 consecutive fastballs, 6 or 7 consecutive fastballs, eventually you feel like he's going to have the opportunity to time one up here. So location was absolutely critical here for Christian.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch, goes breaking ball out, leaves it outside. It's a full count.
Better breaking ball there, had better depth on it. So it comes down to the 3-2.
There is a base open with Zach Shoemaker waiting on deck, the catcher. The 3-2 pitch, fouled away. He spoils that fastball. Still a full count.
Good job by Reynolds. Just you can see why he hasn't struck out very much. He's just going to grind it out with 2 strikes, and that pitch on the outer half, and does a great job of just flicking that away.
So we'll do it again, 3-2. Urban in outfield, shaded away to right center field. 3-2 pitch, low, ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Now we'll see if the Bears can make the Pioneers pay here. As Shoemaker will remove his shin guards and come to the plate. Shoemaker has grounded out and walked in his 2 plate appearances today. The bases loaded this season as a hitter. Shoemaker is 0 for 3. The best hitter with the bases loaded is Jeffries. No surprise there. He's 7 for 10 with the bases loaded.
Wow.
But fortunately, he's on at third base right now. Shoemaker will try and get the Bears back in this game with 1 swing of the bat. Up and away, 1 ball and no strikes.
Another big spot. We've had several of these in the last 3 innings where teams have had opportunities to either extend leads or get back into the game. So another one of those situations here.
1 ball and no strikes the count to Zach Shoemaker. Cuba's pitch bounces up there. 2 balls and no strikes. Coker, Carson Newman, 5-5, top of the 7th. Anderson leading Mars Hill 10-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Coker lost game 1 of their doubleheader to Carson Newman today, so if Coker loses the 2nd game, then LR just needs 1 win this afternoon to clinch a playoff spot. Or I guess more accurately, clinch a tournament spot.
Right.
Although it would be a 1-game playoff that they'd be in, a winner take all. So 2 balls and no strikes the count here to Shoemaker. The pitch hit to right center field. That's going to be trouble. It's going to drop in. Urban fields it on a couple of hops. And 2 runs are going to score. And now a 3rd runner is coming to the plate as well, and he will score. Reynolds scores all the way from first base, and we are tied at 4. On the hit by Zach Shoemaker. They'll go down, I believe it's going to be a double and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch. It was just a fastball right down the middle, and Shoemaker just took it into the gap in right center field.
Yeah, again, just location from Cuba, and if you're only throwing fastballs against college hitters, it's very difficult to have a lot of consistent success there. And a big hit by Shoemaker there.
So all of a sudden we're tied at 4 here in the 6th. And it'll bring up the 3rd baseman Hunter Jackson as he takes the ball. It is a 3-run double for Zach Shoemaker. His RBIs 13, 14, and 15 this season. We are right back where we started from, tied at 4. And you look at the last inning when Tusculum had bases loaded, 1 out and couldn't score. LR takes advantage of their opportunity.
Yeah, and those opportunities will come back to haunt you when you have a chance to stretch the lead and just unable to do that. And another good swing right there by Jackson, right on that fastball, fouling it straight back.
1 ball and 1 strike the count to Hunter Jackson, who has singled and scored and walked, so he's reached safely twice. 4-4 game here in the top of the 6th inning. But the fortunes for the Bears changing very quickly. As Coker is trying to push across the go-ahead run in the top of the 7th. Pitch in the dirt, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Coker has runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out in the 7th, tied at 5 at Carson Newman in Game 2 of that doubleheader. Of course, that is a 7-inning game, so this is it here for Coker. 2-1 the count to Jackson. He fouls that to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Anderson scored 2 more runs. They're up 12-4 on Mars Hill in the 8th. So LR will get no help from Anderson today, although they could be getting a lot of help from Carson Newman depending on what happens in that 7th inning.
Yeah, and Carson Newman's really playing well here down the stretch, which is what they did a year ago as well. Seem to heat up as it gets closer to tournament time.
2-2 pitch is fouled back to the screen, still 2-2. Of course, the SAC tournament held in their backyard at Smoky Stadium in Kodak. And all three Tennessee teams will be there. Lincoln Memorial, Tusculum, and Carson Newman. Two and two the count and the pitch. Hit towards second. Martin, it goes under his glove into right field for a base hit. Coming around third is Jackson. He will score. And it is a 5-4 lead for Lenior-Rhyne on what will be scored as an error against Dalton Martin. And the go-ahead run scores for the Bears. 4 runs in the inning for LR as this ball was hit to Martin's left and right under his glove, and he knew it. And that's going to bring home the go-ahead run for the Bears. So 4 runs in this inning for Lenior-Rhyne as they have taken a 5-4 lead. As the discussion underway on the mound, and we're going to have a pitching change as head coach Brandon Steele makes a call to the bullpen, and we will have our relief pitcher Austin Collins on his way in. We'll have information on Collins when we come back. Lenior-Rhyne leads at 5-4 in the 6th on the Pioneer Sports Network. New pitcher for the Pioneers is right-hander Austin Collins. Collins making his 13th appearance, all out of the bullpen. 1-1 record, a 6.27 earned run average. He does have 1 save. 18 2/3 innings, 17 hits, 13 earned runs. He's struck out 9, but he's walked 19 batters in 18 2/3 innings, and opponents are hitting .270 against the right-hander Austin Collins. Collins, a redshirt freshman, 6'1", 170 pounds, out of Greenville High School. Local product, and he is being called on to put out the fire here in this top of the 6th inning. What does Austin Collins bring to the mound?
Yeah, I think Austin's a guy I think has a bright future, a kid that's going to keep developing, and I think ideally Coach Steele would have liked to have given him another year to continue to develop, but with the injuries to the pitching staff and the inconsistencies of some others, Austin has been forced into some situations like this and has had some good outings, and as you read his numbers, you can see struggles with the strike zone on occasion, but a guy that I think does have a bright future in the coming years and has gained a tremendous amount of experience this season.
He'll face Brock Johnson to lead to the first batter he'll face. Johnson 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a strikeout. 4 runs across in this inning for the Bears as they've taken a 5-4 lead. Jackson, who knocked in the go-ahead run on an error, is on at first base. Check that. That scoring decision has been changed. That pitch is taken for a strike. Give that an RBI single to Jackson, and an RBI is Shoemaker scores. So that was a hit officially for Jackson, which it's a play that Martin probably should have made, but at the same time, that ball was hit pretty hard.
Ball was hit on the nose, and I think if you asked Dalton, he would tell you that he needs to make that play. But the ball was hit sharply.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed, 0-2.
It's a good breaking ball there by Austin. If he can throw that pitch, he becomes a different guy on the mound. It looks like they've got maybe Johnston.
Yep, and Noe was down there too. 0-2 the count. The pitch, low, 1-2. Anderson's just adding runs at this point. It's 15-4 in the 8th inning.
Yeah, pulling away, and looks like the Carson Newman game will come down to the end as well. Carson Newman, like I said, played extremely well. Won 8 straight now, aiming for their 9th straight victory.
Wow.
Heading into the conference tournament.
Throw over to first, and back safely is Jackson. Stretched by Collins. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. So Collins comes in and strikes out Johnson, but not before the Bears take the lead in the inning. They scored 4 runs on 4 hits and 1 left on base. Middle of the 6th. It's Lenior-Rhyne 5, Tusculum 4 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Legendary discounts made Johnson City Toyota #1, and this month our discounts are huge with savings up to $5,600 on new Toyotas. Camrys are discounted up to $3,800, so ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota and get your savings today.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, it's funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Bottom of the 6th inning, as Kane Kaiser, when we last saw him on the mound, he was getting out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam with his team down by 3. He's now pitching with a 5-4 lead, and he'll face Sam Urban, the number 9 hitter for the Pioneers, leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Urban has walked and scored and struck out. Tusculum has left 7 men on base the last 3 innings, including 5 runners in scoring position. First pitch to Urban is taken for a strike. Urban, Stiegel, and Martin due up here in the 6th for the Pioneers. Swing and a miss. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Coker went out in the top of the 7th inning. They go to the bottom of the 7th, and Carson Newman tied at 5. Carson Newman just needs a run to walk that one off and finish the sweep of that doubleheader. The 0-2 pitch is high, 1-2. What that means is that LR would now know that he just need 1 win today. If Coker loses that game, then LR would just need 1 victory today to get in the SAC tournament. Breaking ball called strike 3, and Urban is down on strikes for the 2nd time. 2nd strikeout for Kaiser, leading off the bottom of the 6th. As he just froze him on a kind of a backup slider, a pitch that was started about 6 inches off the plate to the outside and just broke back in for strike 3.
Yeah, just a backdoor breaking ball, and Sam did not recognize it early enough.
So that'll bring up Jaden Stiegel. Stiegel has flied out, singled and scored, and flied out. Takes pitch low for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Stiegel.
Good here if he could find a way on and bring Dalton to the plate with the tying run aboard.
1 ball, 1 strike. Count to Stiegel. Foul tips one back to the backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Kaiser has shown good command of that breaking ball in the inning of work that he's had so far.
Yeah, he came in and threw a few good ones in that last inning. That Fastball is high, 2-2.
Probably setting him up right here to go back to the breaking ball way. So see if Stiegel can recognize.
2-2 the count, the pitch. Breaking ball hit up the middle. To his left is the shortstop Jones. His throw across is in time, and Stiegel's retired. He's now 1 for 4, and there's 2 outs here in the 6th.
Good play by Jones. Good athlete. Good range. Ball going towards the middle makes that play look easy.
And a throw that was spot on for the out. So Dalton Martin will bat with 2 outs and nobody on base. Martin doing his thing today. He's lined out in RBI single, walked, stole a base, scored 2 runs, knocked in 1. Is 1 for 2 officially. Bunts down the third baseline. Throw across is going to be in time for the out on a nice throw by the third baseman Jackson, and Martin is down at first base. The throw comes across. He was out, and he tripped going over the bag. He's going to walk it off, though, so he is up and walking it off, and he'll be okay, and it looks like he'll be able to stay in the game.
Yeah, good thought by Dalton there. Just the bunt's a little bit hard, just trying to find a way to extend the inning, just a little bit hard on the attempt.
So a 1-2-3 6th inning for Kaiser as the Pioneers are down in the 6th. We go to the 7th. Lenior-Rhyne leads it 5-4 on the Pioneers Sports Network.
Ready, set, go to Johnson City Toyota, where new Tacomas start at $309 a month with 0 down. Drive the all-new RAV4 for $209 a month or save over $4,000 on Highlander. See more great deals at johnsoncitytoyota.com.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you? To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Top of the 7th inning here at Pioneer Park. Jim Miller, Doug Jones with you this afternoon. Game 1 of our doubleheader. As Lenior-Rhyne leads at 5-4, they scored 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning to take the lead. And Austin Collins, who got the last out of the 6th inning, will start the top of the 7th inning with the right fielder E.J. Rennell. Rennell is 0 for 3, struck out, flied out, and grounded into a double play. Carson Newman's got 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, tied at 5 in Game 2 of that doubleheader. First pitch from Collins is high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Big spot here for Austin, an opportunity for him to keep his team in the game here, so needs to find a way to put up another 0 if possible.
That one is yanked foul. Nope, it's good. Oh, it's right on the line. And it's fair ball. I thought that was going to be foul off the bat, and it turns out to be right on that foul line. And it was a fair ball out, and it's 1 out here in the 7th inning.
Collins able to get Rennell to go upstairs there and chase a fastball that's up. And you're right, I thought that ball was going to be foul as well, but hung right on the line for Jarrell to be able to come in and make that play.
I believe it's over at Carson Newman. And the pitch is taken for ball 1-0. One ball and no strikes to count to Fuller as he takes that pitch for a ball, 2-0. Carson Newman and Coker were tied 5-5 in the 7th. Two balls and no strikes to count. The pitch high and outside, 3-0. next pitch is in there for a strike, 3-1. Three balls and a strike, the count to the center fielder, Grant Fuller. It is a final. Carson Newman wins game 2 of that doubleheader 6-5. This pitch is looped foul. This one is definitely going to be out of play under the berm. Still 3-2. So Carson Newman sweeps Coker in the doubleheader. So what does that mean? It means for Lenior-Rhyne, all they need is one win, and they're in. Anderson has won, so they are in. Anderson will get in one of those spots as Coker will now be 7-17 in the conference. That's Anderson's 8th win. So now it comes down to what happens here. Hit to short. Ford stays down on it. His throw across is low, but Montgomery has it on the scoop. And that's 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th inning.
It's a good play by Nate again on the pick. That ball's hit right on the nose, right at Ford, and good job by Montgomery picking him up on the other end.
That was a tough short hop. That one was the one earlier. It was kind of there was a little bit of a lag on he had the time off the bounce. This one was a true pick. So 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th. It'll bring up the left fielder Clayton Jeffries, who is 1 for 3. He's grounded out twice and then singled in the 6th to start that 4-run rally. Pitch is taken for a ball, 1-0. Next pitch is hit to second. Martin has it on a big hop, and that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Austin Collins, who's come in and retired all 4 batters he's faced. Stretch time here at Pioneer Park. We're at the bottom of the 7th. It's Lenior-Rhyne 5, Tusculum 4 on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Hello, my name is Jacob Fate, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities for the 4th year in a row. We sell more because we discount every vehicle every day. We give you a lifetime warranty and complimentary service. So I invite you to come see why Johnson City Toyota is #1.
Bottom of the seventh inning here at Pioneer Park, with Tusculum trailing Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 5-4. Jim Miller and Doug Jones with you here this afternoon. Game 1 of our doubleheader here at Pioneer Park, as Coker has been swept in their doubleheader at Carson Newman, losing 13-3 and 6-5. Anderson has beaten Mars Hill 16-4. So Anderson is in the SAC tournament. Coker, they have to wait and see what happens here this afternoon. Lenior-Rhyne needs 1 victory, and they will clinch a SAC tournament berth. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Bryson Ford. Leading off the bottom of the 7th inning, Ford has grounded out and twice been hit by a pitch. Kane Kaiser came in the 5th inning, has retired all 5 batters he's faced. And this one's hit to right field, hit pretty well. Going back is the right fielder, Ramel, and he makes the catch. Nice play by the right fielder, Rennell, going backwards. As giving a charge the other way was Ford, but the catch is made as Ford hits that one to right field, and Rennell just going back and almost got himself turned, but he was backpedaling the whole way, so instead of having to look over his shoulder, he had the play in front of him and was able to make the catch at the warning track.
Yeah, good play defensively and good swing by Bryson there. Good to see him go that way with something.
1 strike the count to Nate Montgomery, who has knocked in 3 runs. He has struck out his first time up, and then a 2-run single in the 3rd and an RBI single in the 5th. That one's line foul into the screen. The ball's in 2 strikes.
got him set up here 0-2 for the breaking ball. He's kind of gone to the fastball in this inning against Bryson and so far against Nate.
0-2 pitch is high, 1-2. 1-2 the count to Nate Montgomery. Stretched by Kaiser and the pitch, low and outside, 2-2. The balls and 2 strikes to count to Nate Montgomery. Kaiser has retired all 6 batters he's faced. There is bullpen activity, though, for the Bears. As that pitch, good breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Kaiser, and there's 2 down here in the 7th.
Been very impressive since coming into the game. If you look at his numbers, they don't indicate that he's been that effective, but he's shown good command of the breaking ball and life on that fastball.
So 2 up and 2 down for Jarrell McDade, who's singled, struck out, and flied out. And that pitch is in there for a strike.
Another good breaking ball there.
The stretch by Kaiser in the 0-1 pitch. Loop foul right side, 0-2.
In complete control. Been very impressive. Good, like I said, good command of those 2 pitches. Have not seen a changeup, so he looks to be a 2-pitch guy.
0-2 the count to McDade. The pitch is a fastball away, 1-2. There's activity in the LR bullpen with no numbers on the front of the jersey. It makes it kind of a guessing game as to who's actually throwing. There's a lefty warming up. The 1-2 pitch in on his hands and hit to third. Jackson's throw across sails and goes over Reynolds, and safe at first base is McDade on the error. Jackson had time and he just sailed the throw.
Yeah, rushed that play a little bit. And extends the inning for the Pioneers, and obviously our base running threat there with McDade, and can he get to second base with Bradley still at the plate here.
Bradley Evans at the plate. He is 1 for 3. He hit into a double play, a line drive double play, lined out to right and reached on an infield single. 1 for 3. Evans with 2 home runs this season and 32 at-bats coming into plays, and he definitely has power. McDade got caught leaning, but he gets back in safely. McDade has a stolen base today, which was his 18th of the year.
Yeah, I expect him to keep a very close eye, and have not seen Kaiser here from the stretch with the guy at first, so interesting to see what kind of job he does with holding runners.
This one's hit to left field. Hit well. Looking up is the left fielder, Jeffries. That ball is gone. Bradley Evans with a 2-run home run, and the Pioneers regain the lead here in the 7th. It is 6-5 Tusculum on Evans' 3rd home run of the year.
Really good swing by Bradley. Gets first pitch fastball, middle in, and again, we talked about this all day. The threat of the base runner at first base may have taken the focus off of Kaiser. That's the first pitch I've seen him throw that really split the plate, and Bradley took advantage of it.
And he just crushed that one to left field. No doubt about it, as Evans takes a look as that ball up on the hill for a 2-run home run. His 3rd homer of the year, RBI 7 and 8. And the Pioneers back on top 6-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. Now at the plate is Chase Willenweber, who's 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch, grounded out, and struck out. I noticed after the home run that the third baseman, Jackson, just crouched down at third base as he knows that the throw on the previous play may have cost his team a couple runs.
Absolutely. That E5 extends the inning and brings Bradley to the plate in that situation.
That slider's taken or swung on a miss. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Kaiser had been in complete control up until that point, and then runner on base, and all of a sudden home run, and Tusculum has the lead back.
Yeah, interesting to see here what Coach Steele and Coach Ireland decide to do. If
swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Pioneers try and piece together those last 6 outs, and we'll see which direction they go as they go to the 8th inning. 2 runs in the inning on a hit, the home run by Evans, 1 big error, and nobody left on base. We go to the top of the 8th inning with Tusculum back on top 6-5 over Lenior-Rhyne on the Pioneer Sports Network. Top of the 8th inning, the Pioneers back on top 6-5, thanks to a 2-run home run by Bradley Evans in the bottom of the 7th. Austin Collins has retired all 4 batters he's faced since coming on in the 6th. And he'll face Freeman, Jones, and Reynolds here in the top of the 8th, with Tusculum leading 6-5. As looks like half the pitching staff is going down to the bullpen.
Yeah, interesting situation. I don't know how Mitch feels. I think he threw like an inning and a third on Friday, or Saturday, I should say. So I would think that it's getting close to McCain time and maybe Linton.
One guy we saw run down into the bullpen was Zach Sanders, and we know he's not coming in because he's obviously already out of the ball game, but he's down there just to lend a hand as needed. We'll keep an eye on the warm-ups. It's 1 strike to count now. Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Freeman. Carter Linton is warming up. Mitch McCain is on the mound, going through some motions out there. 0-2 the count to Freeman, leading off the top of the 8th inning. Collins pitch. Hit in the air to shallow right center field. Fincham charging in, and he makes the catch for the out.
A bad break there from Finch. I don't know if he saw that ball immediately and really had to get on his horse to come in to make that play.
So 1 down here in the 8th, and the thing that I'm watching is the shadows starting to come across the home plate area. The outfield won't be a sun field yet. It will be for game 2, but this is a time of day where it's probably the easiest for outfielders, and it's just going to start getting progressively worse as it goes along here. But and then the wind is starting to pick up a little bit out in left field as well.
Yeah, and you're reaching that time of day where the left side of the infield and can be a challenge at time, but that should be an advantage, obviously, for the Pioneers who practice and play here every day. So, but I've seen it cause havoc over the years, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Will Jones, the shortstop. Jones is 0 for 3. He's lined out to right, grounded out to the mound, and fouled out to first. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Jones. Collins with a stretch. And the 2-0 pitch is low, 3-0.
Again, this is the area in which Austin struggled with, and big spot for him. He's done a nice job since coming into the game, but you want to make them earn everything they get from here on out. Needs to really fight to try to get back into this count.
3-0 the count to Jones. Pitch. That was about a 55-foot fastball, and it's ball 4. And Jones is a 1-out base runner with the walk. 4th walk allowed by Tusculum pitching today. Now bring Alex Reynolds to the plate. Reynolds has popped up, flied out, and walked and scored. Some days you feel like you need about 3 or 4 mounds down in that bullpen area with the number of pitchers that get up at times.
That's right. You got Jones aboard. That's 4 for 4 on the year, I believe, is Jones. And like I said, the LR does not run a great deal, but wouldn't surprise me here if some hit and run action or something to try to get him in motion.
Collins' pitch. He committed on the swing. It's no balls and 1 strike.
Of course, as the opposing coach here in this situation, you watch Collins struggle with the strike zone a little bit. You're a little hesitant to put the hit and run on because you don't know if he's going to be near the plate or not.
Very true. Stretch by Collins. The 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1.
Good breaking ball in the outer half here. Got him set up. Need to make a quality pitch here.
Nothing in 2 the count. Pitch bounces up there, gets past Wollenweber, goes to the backstop. It'll be a wild pitch as Jones moves into scoring position.
Yeah, the last thing you want to see happen there, and absolutely nothing that Chase Wollenweber can do there. That's another 55-footer, and just a mistake by Austin there, and puts the tying running at second base with 1 out.
So 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Reynolds. Shoemaker, who had the big hit in the 6th inning, waits on deck. The stretch and the 1-2 pitch. Flared out into right field. Fincham will get it as it hangs up for him. And he makes the catch. No tag at second base as Jones retreats, and that's 2 down here in the 8th.
Another good breaking ball there. Got him out in front and got the breaking ball away. So a good pitch there from Austin. See if he can overcome the walk and the wild pitch here.
And here's the guy who Jones the runner at second base with 2 outs. Collins' pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yeah, went with the breaking ball there. I would expect a heavy dose of breaking balls here and make him hit something other than the fastball, which he was able to get to Cuba's fastball and line it into the right center field gap, which tells you that he has no trouble getting any fastball.
1 strike to count. Collins with the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. So now Collins ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you can tell Shoemaker not picking up the spin on the breaking ball. So used to always say if you give it long enough, the hitter will tell you what his weaknesses are, and obviously Shoemaker does not see the breaking ball very well.
So Collins trying to get out of this 8th inning. The 0-2 pitch bounces that breaking ball up there. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good job by Chase there, keeping that ball in front.
So 1-2 the count to Zach Shoemaker. 6-5, Tusculum leads it with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Pop foul, it's out of play.
Got away with that one. Hung the breaking ball in that situation. So luckily Austin gets another opportunity to make a better pitch here. But again, you can do a couple things here. You can go hard up and out of the zone and see if you can get him to chase, or simply just stay with the breaking ball down and away from him, see if you get a chase swing again.
The 1-2 the count holds to Zach Shoemaker. Collins' pitch. Bounces that one up there. Good stop by Wollenweber. 2-2. It just seemed like he just overthrew that one.
Yeah, I tried to throw. I don't know if he's going fastball off the plate there, but completely overthrew it. And another good job by Chase back there.
So 2-2 the count to Shoemaker. Linton and McCain still warming in the Tusculum bullpen. Stretch by Collins. 2-2 pitch. Bounce that one up there. 3-2.
And you can almost see Shoemaker expecting the breaking ball there. Didn't even come close to offering it that one. So interesting pitch selection here. And actually Chase is going to go out and talk with him about what they want to do. I would still expect to see breaking ball here.
You got Jackson on deck, who's got 2 hits and a walk, and also probably no doubt wanting to atone for the error in the last inning. Now, is this a situation where you throw your best pitch or you throw what you can throw for a strike? I mean, the situation, he doesn't have to throw a strike here. He can walk him and go to the next guy if he wants to.
Yeah, I think you want to make him hit your pitch here. The thing's a little interesting to me is that neither guy in the bullpen's hot, which tells me that Collins is going to see the next hitter no matter what.
3-2 the count to Shoemaker. The pitch way high, ball 4 off the glove of Wollenweber. And moving up to third base will be Jones. So that creates a situation now, too, where you throw one more wild pitch and you got a tie game.
Yeah, and again, that's why I'm a little bit confused why neither guy down in the bullpen's hot, although McCain doesn't need long. But to me, this would be a situation where you may want to look to make a move just with what you said, Jim. The wild pitch is in play, and Collins has been a little erratic here at times, and you can't afford one in this situation.
They're checking to see, saw the hat from the dugout to see if there's somebody ready to go. I think that was Andrew Willis with the hat down there in the dugout. Here comes Coach Brandon Steele to gather the infielders. Maybe just maybe a stall tactic. I mean, obviously you're going to wait as long as you can. Here you go out there and talk and make the umpire come out, and by that time maybe McCain's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm sure they received some type of signal down there. He needs 3, he needs 5, or whatever if he is looking to make a move. And the other thing you're discussing in this situation, as it looked like LR is going to have a pinch runner here, there's a lot of different things. First and third situation, are we going to throw through if the guy at first runs? How are we going to handle the defense if they run a force balk or something like that? So I'm sure Coach Steele is doing that, and it looks like he's going to stay with Collins in this situation, and I'm not sure if that means McCain's not ready or he just likes this matchup.
I knew a coach around here who would go out and have a meeting at the mound, and then when the umpire comes out to break him up, that's when you make the pitching change.
Yeah, absolutely. Just giving that guy a little bit more time. I was watching McCain's reaction in the bullpen when Coach Steele left the mound, and a little disappointed, so that tells me that he was ready, or he felt like he was ready anyway.
The runner at first base is Mark McGlam, who is a backup outfielder, who is a 6'1", 170-pound freshman out of Lexington, North Carolina. He has not played much this season. 12 games, he's only batted twice, which tells me he's either a defensive replacement or a pinch runner. And the first pitch to Hunter Jackson is taken for a strike. Jackson singled and scored in the third, walked in the fifth, and knocked in a run on a single in the sixth. Of course, I said his error in the last inning set up the Evans 2-run home run, so he's probably a little bit dialed in right now, wanting to try and atone for that. Blocked by Wollenweber, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is if you're calling pitches in this situation, you've got the tying run at third. So, and like I said, he's been erratic, and do you even have the confidence to even go to the breaking ball in this situation? So, very difficult matchup here, very difficult to call pitches in this situation. And Jackson has put some good swings on the ball.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Collins with the pitch. Hit foul, 1-2, almost hit that one off the ground.
Sure did. And this is the situation right here where you almost expect if they're going to run some type of action here, it's with 2 strikes in first and third. So defensively, you have to be aware of anything. Fake break, leaving early, get caught in a run down. All the whole playbook's open here for LR.
1-2 the count. Nobody's moving. The pitch. They say he swung, and he's out on strikes.
Wow.
They had the call at home plate. Of course, they're asking for an appeal, which you can't appeal an umpire's call. His call is final, and they say he went. We're going to see the replay here. There was one of these earlier that went against Lenior-Rhyne, and the pitch was low, and it's a little bit dark down there behind home plate. But they say he swung, and that's all that matters is his judgment there behind home plate. So for LR in the top of the 8th inning, no runs, no hits, and 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Tusculum 6, Lenior-Rhyne 5 on the Pioneer Sports Network. go to the bottom of the 8th inning with Tusculum leading Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 6-5. New catcher for LR is Austin Reed. He is a 6 foot, 190-pound freshman out of Apopka, Florida. And leading off the bottom of the 8th inning will be Zach Fincham, the right fielder. Fincham is flied out, walked, and grounded out. Takes that pitch for a ball, 1-0. Facing Kane Kaiser, who came in the 5th inning and has only allowed 1 hit, but it was a 2-run home run by Bradley Evans in the bottom of the 7th, which gave Tusculum this 6-5 lead. 6 runs, 7 hits, an error for the Pioneers. 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for LR. Again, the Bears need 1 win in this doubleheader to clinch a SAC tournament berth. As Fincham lines that one to second and stabbed by the second baseman Johnson for the out.
Unlucky there, Fincham. Best swing he's had all day. Hit that ball right on the nose and just right at the second baseman.
He just lines that, and the reaction by Johnson, and he goes to his right and makes the stab for the out. So 1 down here in the 8th. Sam Urban at the plate. He has walked and scored and struck out twice.
We have a trip here. I'm curious to see if he makes a move to the left-hander here, which I think would be okay with Coach Steele. Yeah, because I would expect to see DeHaven in this situation.
So the left-hander is going to make his way in from the bullpen. Did not catch his number before he hopped off the mound, but we'll have all the information on the new pitcher when we come back. 6-5 Tusculum on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities for the 4th year in a row. We sell more because we discount every vehicle every day. We give you a lifetime warranty and complimentary service. So I invite you to come see why Johnson City Toyota is #1.
Tusculum University is Tennessee's first university. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Students from 31 states and 15 countries have found a home here. With nearly 60 areas of study, Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit www.tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
We are in Granger County, Tennessee.
New pitcher for Lenior-Rhyne is left-hander Kevin LaRosa. LaRosa making his 21st appearance all out of the bullpen. 2 wins, 1 loss, a 3.00 earned run average, 33 innings, 31 hits, 18 runs, 11 earned. He's walked 28, struck out 32 in 33 innings. Opponents hitting .244 against Kevin LaRosa, 5'9", 190-pound senior out of Jacksonville, Florida. LaRosa has been deadly against left-handed pitchers this season, or left-handed batters. 3 for 27. It's a 111 average. And Urban was due up, but Seth DeHaven is in the on-deck circle. And then you have Stiegel and then Dalton Martin, who will definitely be batting. So the move probably for a couple batters down the road if they need to. Obviously, LR hoping they don't get to Martin this inning. But this will get Urban out of the ball game, and Seth DeHaven will be the pinch hitter.
Yeah, I think there's multiple factors. You know, Kaiser had came in and done a really nice job, and then, but you see the home run to Evans, and then a line drive by Fincham, so you begin to question, okay, is he losing it a little bit, and got the left-hander coming up, but again, that kind of plays right into Coach Steele's. It's not like Sam was seeing the ball great, and so you can go back to your other center fielder in DeHaven here and see if he can get something going here.
Seth DeHaven, who's been the Pioneers' starting center fielder this season, is batting .274, a home run, 24 runs batted in, and 41 starts. This is his first appearance off the bench this year for the grad student out of Fort Myers, Florida. 5'8", 165 pounds. He takes that one for a strike. So line on Kaiser, 3 innings, 1 hit, but it was a home run. 2 runs unearned, 4 strikeouts, no walks. As DeHaven chops that one foul, no balls and 2 strikes. 40 pitches for Kaiser in his 3 innings of work, 26 strikes, 14 balls.
And quickly ahead here. Quickly ahead 0-2 against DeHaven.
So La Rosa will try and get the last 2 outs here of the 8th inning and then keep his team with a chance in the 9th. That ball is hacked foul, still 0-2. Again, Carson Newman sweeps Coker in their doubleheader 13-3 and 6-5. Anderson beat Mars Hill 16-4 in game 1 of their doubleheader. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Seth DeHaven. That hit him. DeHaven will take the base. There's another hit batsman in the game. I believe that's 3 batters that have been hit today, which bumps the season total up to 77. Which Don Donnelly would probably tell you that ranks 12th in school history for a single season or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of hit batsmen. But anyway, the lineup turns over again, and it'll be Jaden Stiegel at the plate. Stiegel 1 for 4. He's flied out, singled, flied out, and grounded out. DeHaven, very good speed at first base. Got 15 stolen bases this year. First pitch is taken for a ball. I've always said, and I may be off base, I've always said that Seth DeHaven is the best speed on the team.
Seth has always, I think, been the fastest guy we've had. Now, he's not been the best base runner that we have had, and that's a big difference, being able to read pitchers, and especially against this left-hander, you kind of teach guys to have a one-way lead early on and be leaning back until you get a chance to figure out what he likes to do when he goes to the plate. So, and there you just see 2 different moves there. You see the leg lift, and then you see the kind of the slide step pick. And Seth has really improved this year, and his numbers indicate that with the stolen bases of reading pitchers a little bit better, and that's something he struggled with throughout his career.
1 ball and no strikes the count. The pitch to Stiegel is outside, a ball and a strike.
But if you hit it in the gap, I can almost guarantee you he's going to score, and it's fun to watch him run.
Mm-hmm. This could be a situation, I don't know what Stiegel's game is, but we're going to be a push bunt down the first baseline with the pitcher falling off the bag, but he'll swing away. Hit that one into right center field where it's lined up for Fuller, who makes the catch for the second out.
Yeah, a little bit better contact there by Stiegel. Still struggling to get the bat head there on time, and that tied him up just enough. If not, that ball probably gets in the gap.
Dalton Martin at the plate. He has lined out, singled and a homer run, and then scored. Walked, stole a base and scored, and grounded out. 1 for 3 officially. Martin against lefties this season, a .372 average. He'll go after DeRosa here with runner at first base and 2 outs.
Yeah, important for Seth here to be ready to read down angle, dirt ball possibility. I would expect DeRosa to kind of throw Martin some breaking balls here.
So LaRosa's come in and hit a batter and gotten a fly ball. And now it's Martin. He chops that one foul into the Tusculum dugout, where pickup was made by Alec Lay on the play.
And LaRosa did. He comes hard in there. First pitch against Martin, fastball in. So it'd be nice for Seth to find a way, if he can pick up on what his move is, to have a chance to put him in motion here a little bit. There's your stock, what I call stock left-hander move, just pick and throw. But he has shown the other. He has shown slide step as well, so sometimes difficult to figure out what he's going to do.
The stretch by La Rosa, and the pitch is taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. La Rosa has not balked this season, but they don't call that balk like they used to. That used to be, back in the day, they used to call that all the time, and you just don't see that anymore, either by just them not calling it or pitchers becoming so sophisticated on how to make that move.
Nice
play by the first baseman Reynolds as he takes a hit away from Dalton Martin, and the side is retired. 1 base runner in the inning for the Pioneers, but nothing else as Reynolds lays out to make that play. And we will go to the top of the 9th inning with the Pioneers going to the bullpen. This will be Mitch McCain to try and close it out here in the 9th as the Pioneers lead it by a score of 6-5 over Lenior-Rhyne on the Pioneer Sports Network. Top of the ninth inning here at Pioneer Park with Tusculum leading Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 6-5. Seth DeHaven stays in the game in center field. And the new pitcher for the Pioneers is the left-hander Mitch McCain. McCain has been probably the top arm out of the bullpen for the Pioneers this season. Is making his 20th appearance, all in relief. 5 wins and 1 loss, 3.58 earned run average, 32 and 2/3 innings, 26 hits, 13 earned runs, 23 strikeouts. And in 32 and 2/3 innings, he has struck out 51 batters. So about half the outs he gets have been on the strikeout. Opponents hitting .215 against Mitch McCain, the lefty, the 6'1", 195-pound junior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. And he will be tasked with getting the last 3 outs here in this ball game, as it'll be the bottom of the order, Brock Johnson, and then the top of the order due up here in the 9th inning for the Bears.
Yeah, a little bit surprised here that we're not in no doubles with Stiegel at third here. I would expect him to be a little bit closer to the line with the 1-run lead here in the 9th inning.
First pitch from McCain is a strike to Brock Johnson, who has doubled home a run and struck out twice. That pitch is fouled to the screen quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, for the Pioneers, I don't think he could draw it up much better. This is the guy you want on the mound with 3 outs to get here, and we're able to wait until the 9th inning to be able to go to him. So ideally, this is what you would want.
The 0-2 pitch is up and away, 1-2. He's a guy who's really developed since he came here as a freshman. It's just the confidence that he shows on the mound and the confidence that the staff has in him.
Yeah, really made good strides the last couple of years. And again, the thing with him, he's going to be successful if he's in the zone and does not create situations. And so he's even this count back here at 2-2. I'd like to see him make a pitch here to finish off the at-bat.
2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Johnson. The pitch just off the plate. It's a full count. 3-2 to Brock Johnson, leading off the top of the 9th inning.
And they have backed up Stiegel now and closer to the line, so they did recognize that as well.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Johnson, 3rd time he's gone down on strikes. That's 1 out here in the 9th. And the right fielder, E.J. Rennell, will bat. Rennell is 0 for 4. He struck out, flied out, hit into a double play, and flied out. A double play grounder back in the 5th inning after LR got their first 2 men on base with nobody out. Then a strikeout and a ground ball double play. And Rennell goes after the first pitch and fouls it away, 1 strike.
Yeah, and again, their best power guy here at the plate. Look, their leadoff guy, but like I said, has tremendous pop in his bat, and the outfielders, you can tell, we're in kind of no double situation here defensively in the outfield.
Outfielder's very deep. And the next pitch is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count to E.J. Rennell. Grant Fuller, the center fielder, will be followed by Clayton Jeffries, the left fielder, both left-handed batters.
Looks like we have pinch hitter on deck.
Yes. 2 balls and a strike.
For Fuller, who is a tough out, so I would assume they don't like the lefty-lefty matchup with him. So
he's a .212 hitter against left-handers.
Yeah,
Jeffries is a .440, 17 for 38 against lefties. That won't bother him at all. The foul tip, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Good location there with the fastball from Mitch, staying on the outer half and staying away from Rennell. That's a good location, good pitch.
McCain actually has reverse splits. Lefties are hitting .296 against him. Righties just .191.
Yeah, that's when it makes you look dumb as a coach, when you go lefty versus left. So sometimes it doesn't make sense.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count. The pitch fouled away down the right side. Still 2-2. 1 out here in the 9th. Tusculum trying to hold on to a 6-5 lead over Lenior-Rhyne. The Bears just need 1 win to get into the SAC tournament. They can't score here. They'll have 1 more game to try and get it done. 2-2 the count to Rennell. The pitch just off the plate. It's a full count.
And again, back-to-back hitters. Mitch has gone full. Need to make a quality pitch here. It's all about location in this situation.
3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Rennell. The pitch, pop foul, still 3-2. Looks like the pinch hitter on deck. I think it's number 15, which would be Aaron Stamper. Pitch is hit to right field. It's a flare. Fincham charges in, and he'll play it on the hop. That'll be a base hit for Rennell, and he gets his first hit of the game.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage of playing deeper in the outfield and no doubles. That if we're in straight up defensively there, that's just a routine fly ball to right, but unfortunately drops in front of Fincham.
And Fincham playing it smart. He didn't try and be a hero out there and possibly turn it into a double or a triple. So the pinch hitter is going to be Aaron Stamper, a 5'11", 195-pound senior out of Clemens, North Carolina. Stamper hitting .220 on the season, a home run, 12 runs batted in. He started 22 games. Stamper batting with Rennell on at first base, who is 2 for 5 in stolen base attempts this season. McCain's pitch is in there for a strike.
Good breaking ball there.
That hit was the first hit for LR since Jackson's RBI single in the 6th, which gave them a 5-4 lead. Hits are now even at 7. McCain's pitch is popped up foul. Out of play, no balls and 2 strikes.
Looks like he went change up there and kind of got away with that up in the strike zone with that pitch. But that's the first change up that Mitch has thrown, and typically that's his best pitch. And if you see him start to struggle with the strike zone, Coach Ireland will force him to throw that change up.
0-2 the count to the pinch hitter Stamper. McCain's pitch right there for a called strike 3.
Great sequence right there by Mitch. Great sequence. Throws the breaking ball for strike 1, the change up, and then ties him up with a fastball in the inner half.
Right there on the inside corner for a called third strike. And the last hope for the Bears is Clayton Jeffries, the left fielder. Jeffries, a .385 hitter on the season, is 1 for 4 today. He's grounded out to second base 3 times and also singled and scored a run.
Yeah, I think you'll see Martin go back on that outfield grass here, and this is a situation where you tell Nate when you come off the bag there, just stay right there. You don't want anything to be hooked down the line in this situation with a 1-run lead. It's 1 out to get.
1 strike the count to Jeffries. McCain, the 0-1 pitch. Hit off the glove of McCain to the shortstop 40, flips to second, in time for the out, and the game is over. Off the glove of McCain, we'll see it here one more time. On the line drive, it went right off the glove of McCain and deflects right to Ford at shortstop. And Martin got over in time for the force out by a fraction of a step, but that was enough to end the ball game and give the Pioneers the victory in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Tusculum wins it 6-5. We'll have the totals and a recap for you in just a moment here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, it's funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Back here at Pioneer Park, where Tusculum has won Game 1 of this doubleheader over Lenior-Rhyne by a score of 6-5, as the Pioneers take the lead and win it in the get the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 7th inning on a 2-run home run by Bradley Evans, and the bullpen takes care of the rest from there, shutting out the Bears over the final 3 innings to get the victory. final game totals for Tusculum. They had 6 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. And they left 8 for Lenior-Rhyne. They had 5 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, and left 7. The winning pitcher will be Austin Collins out of the bullpen, who went 2 1/3 scoreless innings. He will get the victory to improve his record to 2-1 on the season. The loser is Kane Kaiser. He drops to 1-2, and Mitch McCain earned his first save of the season. Recapping this one, LR took the lead in the top of the 3rd inning as Hunter Jackson singled with 1 out and scored on an RBI double by Brock Johnson. But Tusculum got 3 runs in the bottom of the inning against starter Alex Shirazi, as with 2 outs, Sam Urban drew a walk. Jaden Stiegel then singled, and Dalton Martin followed with a single to knock in Urban and tie the game 1-1. After a hit batter, it was Nate Montgomery who came through with a 2-run single and gave Tusculum a 3-1 lead after 3 innings. Tusculum expanded its lead to 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning as Dalton Martin led off with a walk, a hit batter by Bryson Ford, and then Nate Montgomery another RBI single. That made it 4-1. But LR got 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning. The big hit was a 3-run double by Zach Shoemaker and an RBI single by Hunter Jackson, which made it 5-4 Bears. Kaiser, who came into the 5th inning and got out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam, cruised through the 6th, got the first 2 outs in the 7th, and then Jarrell McDade was saved at first on a throwing error with 2 outs, and then Bradley Evans clocked a 2-run home run, his 3rd of the season, which gave Tusculum the 6-5 lead. And Collins got through the 8th inning, stranded a couple runners, and then Mitch McCain worked around a single in the 9th to earn the save as the Pioneers get the win by a score of 6-5, as this game took 3 hours and 3 minutes. Top hitters in the game, Hunter Jackson was 2 for 3 for Lenior-Rhyne. For Tusculum, Nate Montgomery 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Bradley Evans 2 for 4 with that 2-run home run and 2 RBIs. Zach Sanders 5 innings in a starting role for the Pioneers, 2 hits and 1 run. Shirazi went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 earned runs for Lenior-Rhyne. So with the win, Tusculum now 16-7 in the conference, 29-19 overall. Lenior-Rhyne drops to 2-26 overall, 7-16 in the conference. So Lenior-Rhyne, they now know that they must win Game 2 of this doubleheader to qualify for the SAC tournament. If they do not win, if Tusculum wins Game 2, then Coker will grab that 8th and final spot. Anderson beat Mars Hill in Game 1 of their doubleheader 16-4. And with this loss by Lenior-Rhyne, Anderson has now clinched 7th place. So it's between Coker and LR for the 8th and final spot. LR gets it with a win. If they lose, it'll be Coker taking 8th place in the conference. So we'll be watching, really no scoreboard watching anymore, as it's pretty much determined as the top 7 seeds. And we'll just see what happens in game number 2 for our 8th seed. Final thoughts, Doug Jones?
Yeah, I think it's a game of missed opportunities, I think, by both sides. And you know, you had runners in scoring position and opportunities, I think, for Tusculum to expand on the lead and give LR credit and the pitchers credit. You know, both Shirazi and Kaiser were able to pitch around some things, and Tusculum unable to extend the lead. And then I think you could say the same thing. You know, LR had the situation 1st and 2nd. We get a big double play, turn Ford and Martin, turn a double play to get out of that inning, and then you had some clutch hits as well, but you know, Bradley's 2-run homer was the difference in the game. And unfortunate, I think, for Zach Sanders, who pitched a great game, only giving up 2 hits and probably deserved a better outcome. But tip your hat to Austin Collins, who came in and did a nice job, 2 1/3 innings, and he walks 2 and he strikes out 2, a couple wild pitches in there, and then sets it up to get to the guy you want on the mound to close the game out. So, you know, big win for the Pioneers. You know, we talk about LR needing a win to get in. Tusculum needs a win to tie for 3rd place. And if you look back at the last 2 seasons, that would be a big step forward for the Pioneers, I think, considering the injuries they've had. So a little bit to play for here, obviously, for LR. Their playoff lives are at stake, and kind of see what Coach Steele decides to do with this pitching staff going into a 7-inning game and trying to piece that together.
I would imagine that Andrew Willis will probably get a lot of those innings here in game number 2 of this doubleheader.
I would think so. Actually, I think I see him jogging out. They may go with him to start, which to get him back on the mound prior to the tournament, I think would be a good move as well. And maybe get a few of those other guys some innings of work. Pedro Rodriguez, Sean McDaniel, maybe give them an inning or two of work as well going into that conference tournament the end of this week.
So you have to almost balance a little bit where you're playing to try and set yourself up, but you're also playing to, you want to play it honest. You don't want to just throw your 11, 12, and 13th pitchers and have LR win and get in the tournament. You got to play it straight as well.
Absolutely, and for the Pioneers, it's simply about let's get guys some work, let's get some guys hopefully some confidence, because if you're going to make a run tournament time, it always comes down to there's going to have to be 3-4 guys that step up and do something for you in that tournament setting that they've not done all year. And so, I think that's what it's about for the Pioneers. And you can see that with him getting some guys some at-bats. But, I think more importantly, it's what's this pitching staff going to do? He knows what lineup he's going to play. But it's about getting some guys some work on the mound. And not sure who LR's throwing, but I've heard that the left-hander that they'll have going is pretty good. So it should be a good matchup here to see how it all plays out.
Game number 2 will start in about 30 minutes or so. Per game for field preparations are underway. And game 2 of our doubleheader between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne will be starting probably in about 25 minutes from now. So come back to our YouTube page and we'll have game 2 between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne in this South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Once again, Tusculum defeats Lenior-Rhyne 6-5 for our producer, Nick Forsberg, and for my color man, Doug Jones. Doug, it's great to have you joining us today. I really enjoy it.
I enjoy being here. It's been a lot of fun, and a shout-out to happy birthday to Jim Miller, who's celebrating his 21st birthday again today for the 5th time. So we just want to wish you a happy birthday and appreciate everything that you do for us on a daily basis, Jim.
I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you very much. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in. This broadcast will not be archived for public use, so after we sign off here, this will go dark. But the link for game number 2 will be posted. I think it'll be listed as game 3. It's the 3rd game of the series. So come on back in a little while, and we'll have the next game between Tusculum and Lenior-Rhyne coming up in a little bit. Once again, your final score, Tusculum 6, Lenior-Rhyne 5. So that's it for game 1 of our doubleheader from Pioneer Park here on the Pioneer Sports Network.